feel like it's been a while since I played Russian music, chat. There was this time when I was living in Ukraine that I would play like Russian or Ukrainian songs all the time, but I'm sort of like a chameleon in that regard. I go to different countries and I just immediately steal all their music and start playing it on my stream. Alright, so I fucked with my mic last second, so I hope this one's louder and more clear than before. I like to play with my mic and break it right before I go live. That's the way that I do. That's my habit. It's my creature comforts. I like to break things right before I go live. Let's see. What happened this week? I guess some stuff, right? Some stuff and things. There's an update regarding my favorite people in the world, of course. There was the Take It Down Act, I guess, that got signed into law. That's exciting. That now I'm going to have to deal with a second. I want to classify the DMCA and the Take It Down Act under this umbrella term of 8th Amendment depriving acts. I think it's the 8th Amendment. Let me double check real quick. 8th Amendment. Yeah. It is Amendment Presumption of Innocence. Is it the 5th? It's procedurally a part of the 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment. So, what these laws do is they create mechanisms, and these mechanisms presume automatically that you are in the wrong, and therefore you have to do something. And if you don't do something, don't worry, there is due process, but it, number one, puts the burden on you. Number two, there is a fee shifting provision that only goes one way. And number three, go fuck yourself, basically. And that's the DMCA, and that's the Take It Down Act. In fact, I want to read you an email that I got that I don't have queued up, but I have it on my phone. I'll just read it. Urgent DMCA copyright notice. Dear admin, this is an official notice from Lex Protector International Law Office, authorized to act on behalf of our client Roy Philippos with regard to the enforcement of his intellectual property rights. Our client is the original creator and copyright holder of a video originally published in 2014 and voluntarily taken down just 7 days later. Despite its removal, the video, specifically titled College Truth 2, was unlawfully republished in 2019 on your platform Kiwi Farms without the consent or authorization of the original owner. Our client has previously submitted DMCA takedown notices concerning this matter. Unfortunately, those notices were not adequately addressed, and the infringing content continues to remain accessible, thereby violating his copyright protections. The content in question was initially copied and uploaded by a user identified as Useronic, who had previously hosted the material on a Google server. After a takedown request, Google removed the infringing content. However, the same user subsequently re-uploaded the content to Kiwi Farms, where it has been since further redistributed by other users, again without the authorization of our client. This is a clear and willful violation of Section 512C of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, as it involves unauthorized reproduction and distribution of copyrighted materials. Our client has never granted permission for use of this content on your platform. Then there is approximately 47 different URLs, and it says this letter shall serve as an official notification under Section 512C of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And then it says I have to take it down immediately, and I have to notify the users involved and cease them to do anything further. Signed sincerely, Satyakam Balia Singh, Legal Associate of Lex Protector LLP, Office Number 724, 7th floor, Esplanda 1, Razara, Brabandur, Ostisha, India. And that's how it goes. You got a Mexican man who is hiring an Indian person to send me a DMCA copyright notice to the wrong fucking address. And this DMCA copyright notice comes from a guy who, let me read his credentials. You ready? Legal intern, Human Rights Network internship. He was from the Cuttack, Orissa Indian. Made a research paper on the importance of the right to information for the public. So this guy wrote a letter about the right to information to the public, and now he's a copyright guy. He was an intern for July to August, so 2 months. And then a year later, he was a legal intern to MB Kinney and Company internship in Bhubaneswar, India, or Orissa, India. Attended a client conference and assisted on general research on case law and legal prepositions. Then he was a legal intern again another year later. So each of his internships have been for 3 months or less at the Invakini Company Advocates and Solicitor in Pune, Maharashtra, India. During this internship period, I drafted legal documents such as the OAIA and other official paperwork. And then he was a legal intern again for 2 months a year later. So he was an intern for two months in 2017, an intern for 3 months in 2018, an intern for 3 months in 2019, and then an intern again in 2021, this time with Skillex Pro, assisted client in incorporating a subsidiary company. And now he has, after 5 years, he got his bachelor's degree from the Bharati Vidyapith, grade A student with corporate laws and banking laws. And then he got his master's of law in just 5 semesters, August 2021 to December 2022, at the Shiksha Onna Suhanda University. And now this guy is authorized by our law, despite having never set foot in the United States, despite his poo-encrusted hands and feet never once touching the freedom-loving American soil. He is able to send me DMCA notices that I have to respond to with the presumption of guilt. And I will soon be getting emails again that I have to respond to with the presumption of guilt, where if I say, no, actually, this is freedom of speech, I bear the burden. I bear the full liability, both criminal and civil, in the case of revenge pornography, to prove my case. And that's where we're at. We keep making these fucking laws, which I think are a violation of the Constitution, and they should all be struck down. I'm so anti-copyright at this point, because it's just like, this fucking loser. Let me just pull up what this is. I'll just show you what this fucking loser's complaining about. You ready? And then you can send a DMCA to this. See, there's 47 different links on this page. See if any of them are actually relevant. So I made a mistake of trying to load the Kiwi Farms. Okay, so that's a Google Drive. So this, number one, immediately, this is actually an incredibly fair use. So this guy, Ronick, uploaded a Google Drive link, which not my fucking problem. And then he has extensive fucking notes. Extensive notes. This is a 9-hour long video. And this guy has bullet pointed like 9 million trillion fucking things. So they're trying to, number one, he's trying to copyright claim somebody else's notes. And I assume that this is, I mean, it's annotated. So I can't open any more links on the forum. So here's what I did. I decided to switch off Molvad and switch over to regular Firefox for the purposes of managing the stream. And at a certain point, it just stops loading content from the Kiwi Farms except the actual page. So I have no idea what the fuck that is. That's a video. This is a picture. This is a still image from the fucking video that he's going to claim is his exclusive property. And there's no way. If you post that, you have stolen from him. You've robbed. You've taken food from his fucking mouth. This right here, Roy Philippos, he can't eat. He can't eat or drink or sleep at night because we're stealing straight from his fucking mouth. And here's a real email, by the way. After I denied his DMCA request, which he sent. Let me show you this. I swear to God, this is true. Okay. So, as I've mentioned before, I have a mail guy, and he sends me mail that I get. And this was delightfully, this was a part of my last mail run. You ready? So this is certified fucking mail to our P.O. box saying, Kiwi Farms, remove all of my content. You don't have the rights to any of my work. I have sent several emails to you and you have not replied. Make sure you can receive email from info@royphilippos.com from Roy Philippos, an artist of Philadelphia. And then his actual email. So I sent him a reply, and I did. I affirmatively replied to him, and I said, I'm not taking this down, because what he was complaining about was the first post I showed you. That was the one that had like 8 trillion notes attached to it. That's obviously not his fucking work. So this was his reply to me, okay? Just Joshua Moon of Lolcal LLC, my master. You can commit massive copyright infringement. You can be a massive copyright criminal. That's okay. College Truth 2 drove a lot of traffic to your site and created users for you. Why did you take down this file? I made it for you. I am your slave. I'm here to make your life better. Everything I make is for you to take. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to reply to this Pajit real quick on the air. You're not going to be able to see me reply, but trust me, I'm doing exactly what I say. Let's see, what's his name? I'm gonna do. What's this guy's name? Satyakam Balar Singh. Dear Sar Balar Singh, please see below message. Roy Philip Hose granted me exclusive ability to republish this video in particular, indicating to me that he is my slave and I am free to republish this content. Therefore, I am afraid I must reject your DMCA takedown notice on grounds that I do in fact have the right and authorization at this time to use it. Sincerely, Joshua Moon. Let me give you the address just to make this nice and official. I am the custodian of records. In this case, custodian of records. So I mean, I don't know what else I'm supposed to take away from this. I don't know. It's hard for me to figure out what to do in this instance because I am being granted explicit permission to use this work, and you know, if he takes it back later, then you know it's kind of on him, really. Make sure I'm spelling his name. Philip Hose. Philippe Jose? How I pronounce that? Okay. All right, great. Now that's the DMCA section of the Kiwi Farms Mad at the Internet streams. Let's see what's next. Okay, this is another. Oh my god, just sliding right along into the next segment. Here, let's take a look. This is a news segment, chat. A news segment, which requires, by the way. Actually, let me download the fucking video because I just can't believe how non-functional Firefox is to the point where it's just like it doesn't fucking load files.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hand.
Just open a file and then it's like, you know what? Actually, you don't get to open files anymore. This is a web browser, you fucking retard. This isn't a file browser.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
This dramatic 911 call detailing what sounds like every parent's worst nightmare.
It all happened so fast and he was out of the store.
It allegedly happened here at this Walmart outside Atlanta. This security footage
That's your first mistake. Don't be in fucking Atlanta if you're white. Jesus.
The woman identified in a police report as 26-year-old Caroline Miller on a mobility scooter with her 2 kids when a man approached. But what happens next is at the center of a kidnapping case that has drawn international attention. Miller told police that an Indian man approached her and grabbed her 2-year-old son and pulled him away. Miller did not return NBC's request for comment, but detailed the alleged struggle to local station Atlanta News First.
And I'm like, no, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? And I got him back, and then he just stared at me and then goes, oh, I just wanted to get him out of your lap so you could get up and help me, which was weird. That didn't make any sense. And then he just walked
I guess that's
off.
why she's in Atlanta. It's just the siren call of her people brings her there. It's very strange.
That man was eventually identified as 56-year-old Mahendra Mik Patel, a real estate investor, retired engineer, husband, and father of 2. Police arrested him and charged him with kidnapping of a minor, assault, and battery. He's been in jail now for nearly 6 weeks. But now Miller's account is very much in dispute.
When I finally got the video, I was upset that Mr. Patel was still in jail.
Patel's attorney, Ashley Merchant, says the evidence...
Ashley Merchant. The woman representing the baby snatchers named Ashley Merchant. The summary of his defense, by the way, in case you're curious, is that he walked up to this woman who's in a handicapped motor scooter with 2 babies and says, "Hello, my good Saz. I am looking for the Tylenol." And then apparently, according to him, she points back at where the aisle that has the Tylenol. And while she does so, the child in her lap begins to fall. So Mr. Patel, the good Sa, rushes forward to stop the baby from falling from her lap. And in a particularly incriminating scene, once he has fetched the Tylenol, he walks back to the mobility scooter with the Tylenol in his hand and says, "My good Saz, I have found the Tylenol with your steadfast support." And then she gives a thumbs up. And you can see her giving this thumbs up on the video. Now, his argument is, why? If I had just tried to snatch her baby, why indeed is she giving me the old thumbs up? And I can only imagine that's out of like awkward fear. Like, you know, if someone is like a predator around you and they're like, "Hey, I found the Tylenol." Like, what's your response? "Get away from me, Tylenol fiend." Like, they're going to be like, "Cool, bro. Awesome. Nice. I'm getting out of here. I'm going away." So I don't know. I will never take the side of an Indian over a white woman, as it should be. They'll never put me on a jury. Lock that ass up. Lock that ass up. He did it. Anyway, that's that. I got a breaking news in my favorite subject of all time, the payment processor industry. This one is upset. The animes continue to be upset. This article by Nisha Gamer says, "Please leave a comment if I mispronounce anything on the stream. If this is a clip channel that you're watching and you take issue with the way that I pronounce something, please immediately leave a comment and comment on other comments while you do that, because I will." It's very necessary. Payment processors force Japanese retailer to remove adult games indefinitely. Payment processors are continuing to throw their weight around with Suragaya pulling down online shops for online adult content and dojin. So there's a big list that was published by somebody called Chibi Reviews. And my understanding is that Chibi Reviews is a locale. There's the coffee grind in my throat. A locale and a lolicon. And then I was immediately called out. It says, "Josh, you retweeted Chibi Reviews. Don't you know what you've done?" I don't give a fuck. Listen, I will pick 10 trillion lolicons over the payment processor industry. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And if that means stirring the gamers and the animes and the VTubers into a frenzy over the payment oh yeah, I forgot the hamster. Then that is what needs to be done. And then everything else can be sorted out after the fact, once the dust settles, because there is nothing until MasterCard is a broken, beaten dog. Same with Visa, chained with spiky collars to a post with 6 inches of slack. This is what we need. All right. So I'm glad that they're pissing off the animes. If there's anybody who has the autism to do certain actions that's required to make the payment processors understand their relationship with God and their tenuous connection to Mother Gaia that they live on, it may be the anime. Next. Bungie. Okay, this is in regards to the video game industry being absolute shit. So this guy, I don't know what his professional name would be. Anti-Real or Into the Power of Two, identified that a lot of his work can be found. Here is the original on the right, and then you can kind of see that these graphs for Aleph, they didn't even change like the name or anything. These graphs are graphics for Aleph are found throughout Bungie's new game. Apparently it's Marathon. Bungie is like a zombie company now that was like bought by Sony. They made Halo, but now they're making like a extraction shooter, like a Escape from Tarkov, and it's like in the future, and it's called Marathon. And apparently Marathon was another existing intellectual property, but now they're like zombifying that as well to make a new Escape from Tarkov. So the trailer has come out. There's some preview footage. And this guy immediately recognized this like future punk. You can kind of see that these icons were lifted from this. These scribble-looking things were lifted from that. The chevrons were lifted and flipped, and you can just tell that they're a one-to-one copy. of this guy's work. You might think there's no fucking way that a multi-million-dollar, maybe even billion-dollar business is just lifting shit from a fucking portfolio site belonging to this anti-real guy. The lost Easter egg? So I guess this is, where's the lost Easter egg? Oh! I hid Lost in my design 6 years ago and nobody caught on. And then sure enough, this is in the Bungie game and there is a Lost reference that, oh my god, that's so funny. That's actually hysterical. That, dude, I remember a teacher telling me once that when they catch people cheating off and copying off each other's tests, it's not the questions that they get right that catches them out. It's the questions that they get wrong. And when you accidentally include a reference to Lost that you lifted off of somebody's artwork from 6 years ago, that's getting caught red fucking handed. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. And what's really, really crazy is that the guy confirmed that the lead graphics designer for the project actually follows him on Twitter. So this fucking asshole, is this guy a Pajit? I have to know. What's the name of the guy? Please, I bet you none of these articles actually say the name of the guy. Is facing a new law. Okay, so by the way, this is the second time. These articles are not about this. These articles are about a lawsuit from Destiny 2 outright stealing plot elements from another guy's book. By the way, I do believe in copyright when it comes to these companies. You know what I mean? It's like small people on YouTube, like using music and shit. It's like, that's not cutting into somebody's budget. When somebody is like a professional designer who makes game assets and other graphics for like set pieces, like that you can't just put that into your multi-million-dollar, $100 million video game. Like that's exactly what copyright is for that kind of intercorporate shit. And it's not, but in reality, these companies do steal from each other all the fucking time. They steal from small independent artists that are just trying to get their shit bought and paid for fairly. But what do they actually apply copyright on? They apply copyright on like commentary on a forum. They apply copyright to a Twitch streamer playing 9 Inch Nails while, playing Counter-Strike or some shit. Like that's what copyright actually gets applied to. Meanwhile, the artists that actually make video game assets, they get lifted for $100 million projects by fucking Jeet artists, and then nothing happens, and there's no recourse whatsoever because they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It's kind of disgusting. Anyways, if you guys find out if this is a Jeet, please post it in this thread because I feel better for this guy. I hope he sues. In the realm of the government doing stuff, did I talk about the monkey torture stuff already? I felt I did. Okay, sorry. I pulled up some last time. I just want to remind everybody that 11 monkey torture people were killed. Sorry, I picked up notes after. Yeah, I did. Okay, all right. The government hasn't done anything new. Actually, they have arrested somebody, but he's not a monkey torturer. We'll get to that in a second, chat. This is Outdoor Boys, and this caused a kerfuffle on Zitter that I feel the need to talk about, okay? This guy has almost 16 million subscribers, and he posted a goodbye video. From my understanding, what he did is he had a family, and he liked spending time outdoors. So I thought, hey, I should vlog about my experiences outdoors and pass along some wisdom about my fishing techniques, my camping techniques, my outdoorsmanship. These are kind of fundamental survival skills that other people would appreciate. And I guess he was so authentic, so genuine, so easy to watch that 16 million people decided, hey, I'll follow this guy. So after a while, after reaching the top of success, 16 million is very, very high. Few channels have that number of followers. He posted a video saying, I'm done with my channel. And the reason for it mainly is that it's for the safety of his family. Because now that he is so prolific, especially with the outdoorsman community, if he goes to a remote national park with his family, he's immediately recognized because all the other people out there watch his fucking channel. So he's no longer able to enjoy the great outdoors, and he's done doing it. And he doesn't need the money anymore because he's already made so much fucking money off of his channel. So he's done. And many people said, this is the right way to go out. If you're at the top of your success, don't wait for a scandal. Don't wait for the adpocalypse or whatever to start targeting outdoors channels as right-wing extremism. Just leave. So he's done. However, isn't there somebody you forgot to ask before you stop making YouTube videos? That's right. It's people on Twitter. So here's his wife. And people saw that he has a homely wife. And there's no way that this woman could be his wife for any reason other than the fact that she's just got an iron vice grip on his cock and balls, and she controls him. So people on Twitter decided, actually, it's her fault. His nagging bitch wife, jealous of his success and his wealth and all the pretty women out there who are hikers and joggers that got the bunny butts, must be her fault. She's just jealous. So for no reason whatsoever, everyone decided to go after his family, which, according to his video, the safety of his family was the number one reason why he quit making the videos. So he instantly, people on Twitter decided to prove him right and prove his concerns about his family being targeted by weirdos on the internet because of his fucking outdoor hiking videos to be completely and totally justifiable. Well, sucks to be these people, I guess. I don't know. They always find reasons to be angry at dumb bullshit. She is completely on his tier. Look at this fucking guy. Look at how ugly this fucker is. And everyone's gonna be like, she's ugly. Nigga, are we looking at the same person? This guy looks like a fucking cartoon character. He looks like Skeeter from Doug or something. Like, yeah, they're matched pretty fucking evenly. I don't know what you're hoping for there, bro. It's like, oh, he's famous on YouTube, so his wife should be Bella Delphine. She should be half his age and like an OnlyFans whore. Like, bro, come the fuck on. People don't marry each other for love anymore. Marriage is no longer about love or wanting to start a family or liking to do things like hiking together. It's about min-maxing your attraction ratio and trying to bet above average as high as possible. That's the only thing that matters. Otherwise, you're a cuckold to fucking Twitter. Love? It's like a burgers meme. Stone Toss would never make a meme like that, where it's like, we should get married. Is it because she's a 9 out of 10? Is it because of her OnlyFans? Is it because she watches anime? Is it because of love? Love? And then you get thrown out the fucking window. I know people like to say, Josh, you don't ever get to give advice on anything related to relationships ever. Here's my true and genuine advice to all people, all young men. When you look at a woman, always evaluate first and foremost, what would Twitter think? And if you can't imagine at least 1,000 guys immediately jerking off to your wife, don't do it. Don't do it. If Twitter doesn't consent, don't do it. That's the most important thing in your life, chat. All right. So on Wednesday, this guy, his name is Deer Faggot because he's a furry. He's a deer and he's a faggot. He likes to bottom. He posted this meme: first time bottling versus when you're used to it. He's in Lion King because he's a furry. Grippy deer. I guess grippy because his asshole like clings to whatever the fuck is in his butt because there's like super high friction. So it's like just clinging to that thing. So, but apparently that's attractive in the homosexual world. So it says, me with my dildo. Now, what does this charming young deer faggot do? He completely obliterated a family of 3. He got DUI'd after driving home from a furry convention, I believe, and he ran a red light, and he T-boned into a car at an intersection, and he annihilated an entire family. So this is the family's GoFundMe. Support Lavinia Galva family with their tragic loss. Most of you are already aware of this news in Etobicoke, Ontario, which tragically claimed the lives of 3 children, Ramon, Jace, and Mia. And the family is facing unbearable loss. So this entire family was completely and totally obliterated because this deer faggot right here, getting arrested by one of Canadian's finest pajeets, decided that he would drive intoxicated, probably after bottoming and get given that grippy bottoming to some unsuspecting stag at a deer or furry convention. And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm safe to drive." And then completely obliterated Chad. So, blood on his hooves. Yeah, that's right. They've already let him out of jail. He murdered 3 people, and they let him out of jail, and he's already started deleting his posts. So, that's really crazy. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Canada, where it's like a family annihilate some like Filipino family, and then they're just like, yeah, okay, go clean up your social media presence. You don't want to make the LGBTQIP plus community look bad or anything. Just really, really, I mean, he is Canadian. Can you blame him for drinking and driving, chat? It seems like the easy way out. He didn't suffer any injuries, by the way. He completely wiped out that family. And you can see he's walking just fine. No issues whatsoever. That's the car that he had. That's just fucking crazy, bro. Chat, what SUV can survive being Ethan Ralphed or faggot deered? These are my things. I like to do a lot of market research into things I never even buy, but it's like, okay, let's theoretically posit that you're trying to safely conduct a tour of a family of 4 through a busy Ontario street, and you know that there might be Ethan Ralphs or faggot deers at any point. A RAV4 Toyota? Okay. A 2004 Excursion? I don't think so. I think modern cars are better for collision because they've done so much research into that shit. Cybertruck. Oh, that's a good one. Is there like a cyber SUV? Elon is like a father of 13 kids. He needs to make a proper SUV that's like a cyber SUV. A UAZ. A UAZ. Ulaniavskia Automobilny Zavad. That's that's the Ukrainian manufacturer, bro. Come on, nice joke. Nice joke. Ford Expedition. F2250. That's a good pick. I like that. Hellcat. You guys suck. Your suggestions suck ass. Cybertruck short bus. That's a good one. A deer would kill a RAV4. Okay. What about a 4Runner, chat? Can a 4Runner survive a faggot deer at 60 miles an hour without a family annihilation happening? Yes? Evil Sponge says yes. Okay. Probably. Only Cheese Enjoyer says no. Okay, chat. A Jeep Grand Cherokee. I don't think I'd buy a Jeep. I don't think I'd buy anything from Stellantis, chat. I don't think Stellantis is on the up and up, chat. All right. My mom's Cadillac had tore through at least 3 deer. Your mom's doing the world a service, mowing down faggot deer wherever she goes in her Cadillac. Is she black? I don't think I know any white person that owns a Cadillac. Cadillac and Raris are names permanently associated with the African American community in my head. Okay. Next. That's it for the News Hamster. Thank you, News Hamster, for your service today. We always appreciate. Okay, so this is Morgaine Ogre, one of the most appropriate names for any tranny ever, because it is just like, it is like the name that you would give a female orc in like a Dungeons and Dragons. Here it comes now, Morgaine Ogre, devourer of femoids, imposer of bathroom feudalism. With his mighty club, his 6-foot tall spear, and he's come to oppose you. Morgaine shares this lovely anecdote of what life is like in a post-Trump society. He says, I just had a deeply unpleasant, transphobia-fueled encounter at a large grocery store in Burkitlam. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it sounds like a place in the Middle East. While chatting with another woman about how hard it was to find the washrooms there, we walked toward them together. But as we entered, she suddenly turned on her heel, visibly uncomfortable at the idea of sharing the space with me. She had a British-sounding accent, which only stood out to me in hindsight. Transphobic propaganda fuels exclusion, and it gives permission to it. It's heartbreaking how some people can be so deeply rooted in outdated, exclusionary beliefs. Unfortunately for her, there was no single occupant washrooms for those who feel they can't be in presence of a trans woman, and frankly, those facilities are for everyone anyways. So she waited. I did not rush. As I left, I told her I felt sad that she couldn't be in a gendered space with a trans woman. She muttered something that sounded like she thought I was apologizing. I wasn't apologizing. It was pity. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I pity you. You can't stand me. You despise me, and you don't want to be around me ever. I pity you. I'm so great. My girl cock is so hard and at the ready. My estrogen is so high, and yet you cannot. And it so much so that around me is a corona of fire, and you cannot bask in my presence without being burned up in my exquisite beauty. I pity you, Angloid turf woman. I'm sure. Thank you, Ogre Tranny, for your story. This is Tommy Tutor. Tommy Tutor is suing approximately half the entire United States in the Federal District Court of Arizona. Let's read through the filing together, chat, assuming that the Kiwi Farms wants to load, which I think it will in this instance. Motion for class status, United States District Court of Arizona. Plaintiff Tommy Jane Vossabug, proceeding pro se, moves for class certification numerosity for the thousands of people targeted at Lolcal LLC. Common questions of law exist for a RICO enterprise targeting dissidents. Plaintiff's claims are typical of the class, and plaintiff will adequately represent the class with appointed counsel if granted. So, number one, he wants a class action lawsuit against Lolcal LLC for a RICO case. Then he also wants to be appointed counsel, and if he isn't appointed counsel, don't worry, he can adequately represent tens of thousands of people pro se, which I think is actually illegal because he's pro se and he can't represent anybody but himself. Plaintiff's income is limited to Social Security benefits, $1,200 a month, EBT, UHC benefits of $300 a month, with no business income due to harassment and COT drugs. Plaintiff has an investment account of $15,000, earning less than $1,000 a year, and an inventory of $80,000 cost basis, which is not liquid. So he's trying to say that he has $80,000 of precious gemstones, basically. Plaintiff's claims are not frivolous, involving documented RICO violations and defamation. And he swears that he's unable to pay the fees. He asked for appointment to counsel. This is an amended complaint, so he filed one before and is amending it. And here are the parties. Plaintiff is a Jewish, intersex, genderqueer, human rights activist operating Real Things Artisans Cooperative, a trademark registered in Arizona. I should mention that Vossabug is not Jewish. He's simply claiming to be Jewish for some reason. He also claims to be Native American. He's also not Native American. Defendants include federal agencies, the United States, NSA, CIA, DIA, FBI, NIMH, Clara, a CIA asset in Florida, Madar, United States Air Force, Butler, I don't know what the fuck the NIMH is, the City of South Tucson, represented by Pierce Coleman, PLLC, 911, so I guess the number's 911. I don't know what they did, but they're in trouble. The STPD, don't know what that is either. The Winsky from the TPD MHST, I don't know what that is either. Witherspoon from the Tucson FBI. El Rio Community Health Center. The Sonora Behavioral Health Hospital. Dr. X. Cope, which I think is the name of a transgender nonprofit organization, ironically. Community Bridges. Cohen, all of them collectively, I suppose. AMB Holdings. AMB hosted by Total Choice Hosting. Kiwi Farms, aka Joshua Moon, I guess, represented by Matthew Harden, even though Harden did not enter an appearance in this case, so I guess he's just deciding who's going to represent me in what cases. Sneasel, the Pokemon, so we're going to have to go to Kanto, and we're going to, not Kanto, the other one, Johto, and we're going to have to hunt down a Sneasel with a net and wrangle him to a cage and dispose of him into a Tucson county or district court. Lurker Xavier, whoever that is, YouTube Legal, the Unofficial Rainbow Family of Living Light, which is like a YouTube channel, Savoye at welcomehome.org, Stubbs, aka Rainbow Crystal Kitchen, and John Doe's 1 through 10. So the Pokemon, I assume because he's listing John Doe's 1 through 10, that means that Lurker Xavier is his real name, and Sneasel is actually the Pokemon. So there's the A team going up against one Jewish intersex genderqueer human rights activist, and this is the facts. Statement of facts. Plaintiff alleges a 40-year conspiracy between 1985 and 2025 of institutionalized discrimination and targeted harassment as a Jewish intersex genderqueer dissident content creator rooted in their high above 150 IQ. Knowledge harmful to the war-based economy and peace activism since 1963. So he's alleging that the United States, the Kiwi Farms, this other message board called AMB, and the Pokemon Sneasel have conspired against him simply because his intelligence is so high that he represents an imminent threat to uprooting the American industrial complex. He says online harassment since 1999, 26 years, with specific campaign by AMB since 2011, 14 years, includes defamation per se, falsely branding plaintiff as a pedophile, statutory rapist, and dog fucker, causing 30 psychiatric episodes, over 100 misdemeanors, and $100,000 in lost business. Since indicating that he was banned from the Gem and Lapidary show, which I believe is a very popular gemstone show in Tucson that everyone in Tucson is aware of. I offhandedly mentioned this lawsuit to somebody I knew was in Tucson, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him at the Gem show." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess everyone in Tucson, Arizona goes to the fucking Gem show and knows about the weirdos at the Gem show. So this is a real thing. He's not even making this up." Cohen initiated contact on Threads, followed plaintiff to Facebook, contacted plaintiff's friends to spread defamatory claims, and escalated harassment by posting on Kiwi Farms AMB and the KG Hoffman 1969 Facebook page, motivated by plaintiff's anti-Israel activism. So he's an anti-Israel Jew. Okay. I should mention that the reason why he's called a pedophile and a dog fucker, which I suppose is now a word, this may be the first and only occurrence of the word dog fucker in all American litigation history, perhaps history in litigation throughout the entire world, maybe not including India. But yeah, it's now there. The reason why he's called a pedophile is that he openly admits that in the 1970s, I want to say, that he was in a ethical non-monogamous relationship as a hippie. And he had a sexual encounter with a 13 or 14-year-old girl. And I believe he says that he says that he had sex with her. I don't know if he just said that he did like finger stuff with her or if he actually had sex with her. I actually did a stream on Tommy Tutor. It's on the Man at the Internet site if you want to go watch it. I can't remember what the exact claim was, but he said that she was naked. I remember that she was naked in his bed and that he says that they had a sexual encounter of some sort. It's on the next page, okay. Activism and history. So, plaintiff has been an anti-fascist since 1963, pro-native rights and environmentalist since 1985, pro-intersex trans rights and anti-Zionist since 2010, making them a lifelong dissident target for systemic harassment. Plaintiff identifies as a Jewish intersex genderqueer activist from a nomadic tribal background, transitioning from a beatnik to a hippie in Venice Beach, not a deadhead but a livehead, not rainbow family, but a rainbow warrior, emphasizing their independent environmentalist stance. This is in a court document, by the way. On November 16, 1963, at age 9, plaintiff's social studies teacher declared a coup d'etat had occurred following JFK's assassination, predicting a patsy would be blamed, shaping plaintiff's anti-fascist stance at age 5. I don't know. Seems to have issues counting. At age 9, plaintiff created a photo essay, Atoms for Peace, advocating for nuclear reactors in outer space and small piles in medical propulsion use, reflecting knowledge harmful to the war-based economy. Plaintiff studied fine arts and held roles of water quality inspector, patronage water bureau, ops safety inspector, and research assistant to the Porter McDonald Group, biotech essay methods. Founded the Hippie Haven as Real Artisans Things Incorporated. The lowercase I internet was rigged to suppress small business uploads with commercial content appearing without permission. Here's the dog fucker thing. Plaintiff was shot in Venice Beach by a Maltese assassin. Dude, you gotta watch out for the fucking Maltese, bro. They got this tiny, shitty little island out in the fucking Mediterranean. You never know what they're up to. Allegedly from a shoot to hurt order from George H.W. Bush via a Northern California grower brotherhood actor to remove plaintiff from a tech city blamed on them. Plaintiff has endured 30 psychiatric episodes, 15 in Travis County, 9 in Pima County, 6 elsewhere, and over 100 petty misdemeanors since 1999, averaging 1 to 2 psych holds and 4 to 5 misdemeanors per year, with no detention exceeding 45 days. The first episode was on New Year's Eve 2000 in Travis County after tossing a water jug, with neighbors and the sheriff deeming plaintiff a danger despite a wired jaw. Sir, if you have any objections to us putting you on an involuntary psychiatric hold, can you state them now? Okay, sir, we're gonna take that as a consent, and we're gonna take you to the hospital now. Happy millennium, by the way. Surely the roots of this conspiracy are deep and insidious, chat. They honestly should have left the fucking muzzle in. Defamation by the Anti-Fan Club. Since joining another message board in April 2011, hosted by Total Choice Hosting, plaintiff has faced 14 years of harassment and defamation by A&B users, including Sneasel, Lurker Xavier, Bucket. He's suing a bucket too, chat, and Kevin Hoffman. A&B deceptively offered a safe space but began a campaign to defame plaintiff as an insane sexual predator, a man pretending to be a woman, a dishonest business person, and a pedophile / serial child molester, and a retarded pedophile dog fucker. An unrepentant statutory rapist. That should have been his plaintiff name in the lawsuit. Plaintiff retarded pedophile dog fucker v. lowercase I internet. Specific claims. Okay, I think this is the specific dog fucker claim. Okay. A&B users falsely claim plaintiff had a sexual contact with a minor in 1982, a brief non-coital interaction in a menage a trois invited by the minor 43 years ago. So his defense about being about not being a pedophile is that he said that he had a non-penis in vagina menage a trois, which is a ethical non-monogamous thing when you have like group sex. But menage a trois like is the explicitly means sexual contact, and then he clarifies that it was invited by the minor. So even if it happened, it was a good thing actually. So yeah, that's a pretty good defense, I suppose. The falsely claim that plaintiff's dog interactions, henceforth Noogies, the plaintiff's dog interactions, henceforth Noogies, constitute bestiality, henceforth dog fucker. Sir, they're alleging that I'm a dog fucker because of the Noogies. Your Honor, this is defamation per se. The Noogies did not constitute dog fucking. They misrepresent plaintiff's trans-masturbatory fantasy, visualizing themselves as female using catalogs of females aged 8 to 25 as masturbating to pictures of 8-year-olds, and claim plaintiff creeps on kids with photos based on a few images on their ViewBug site, 1,000+ photos. So he just openly admits that he's masturbating to a non-pornographic catalog featuring 8-year-olds. And it's like, it's their fault that they think I'm a pedophile, because clearly I'm just supposed to, I imagine myself as the 8-year-old girl, which I don't know why the fuck this is a recurring thing, but apparently in pedophile dogfucker land, this is considered a logical line that people just have to accept as being okay, because Digibro, like Dick Masterson accepted this line from Digibro years ago before May got married to Ralph. But he pulled out the, I'm not a pedophile. I'm imagining myself as the 8-year-old girl getting fucked. Therefore, it's not pedophilia. It's like I don't know what the fuck it is, but apparently it's like a thing that if you are coping that hard about being a pedophile, that's your go-to line. That's just like what comes up in the head of somebody who's retarded. If you're a retarded pedophile dog fucker. He's not actually Jewish. I know you guys are like salivating. You're fucking gushing at the mouth at calling this guy Jewish. He's literally pretending to be Jewish. He's not actually Jewish. Sorry to break it to you. On February, Dread Pirate Rebo, a speculated plaintiff, was a childhood computer prodigy drugged by MK Ultra or an ugly old pervert in a dress, with Ashley Wilkes mocking, "I'll take ugly old perverts in a dress for 1,000 Alex." Sneasel edited a video to make... Oh my god, this Pokemon has video editing as an ability. I didn't know that was a TM. To make it appear plaintiff admitted to false accusations with James Parisho used to ban plaintiff from 2019 gym and lapidary wholesale show, costing El Paso Rock Shop $100,000 in sales. A and B users run bots to copy and repost plaintiff's videos with defamatory titles on YouTube channels, quoting Millennial Turkeys, Bearable Thomas, and Lol Tom's Fat. So the channel Lol Tom's Fat, I guess that's one of the John Does. Sneasel is not, though. That's just his name. A and B user Lurker Xavier revealed Sneasel's impersonation and drone surveillance. Now there's drone surveillance involved. Over plaintiff's home, conspiring with the Rainbow family to disrupt plaintiff's gym show business starting in January 23, 2025. Strawberry Lake threatening plaintiff with a wrecked asshole. Cause of action number 3. Imminent danger of a wrecked asshole from this person. A and B users Bucket and Kevin Hoffman bragged about Soil Keylogger and administrative access to plaintiff's computer, with Hoffman alleging sublimation of police and Judge Rash to protect their operations. Systemic discrimination features a conspiracy by the CIA and Mossad, executed through assets like Clar, Madar, and Butler, targeting LGBTQIP+ individuals and dissent content creators, evidenced by rosters of thousands at Locale LLC and Targeted Justice. Plaintiff has been subjected to unlawful detentions in 1999, 2010, and 2023 to 2024. Cause of action RICO. 2. Civil rights violations. 3. Discrimination. 4. Defamation per se. 5. Stalking. 6. False reporting. 7. Terroristic threats. Which is the actual cause of action for wrecked asshole. So I was joking, but I'm not actually joking. That is a terroristic threat, according to a retarded dog fucker. Harassment. Incitement. Computer intrusion. Gender-based hate speech, which actually cites the law. What the fuck? 18 U.S.C. 249. Okay, let's see. 18 U.S.C. 249. Hate Crimes Act. Offenses involved actual or perceived race, color, religion, or national origin. Okay. I don't think hate speech is a thing, though. Citing specifically that ugly old pervert in a dress targets intersex gender queer identity and therefore is hate speech. And state law claims intentional infliction of emotional distress, harassment, misappropriation of likeness, medical malpractice. And then he seeks compensatory damages of $700,000, compensatory damages of $50,000, treble damages under RICO for $2.25 million, punitive damages of $1 million, restraining orders barring A and B, its users, and associated platforms, including the Kiwi Farms, Onion Farms, YouTube channel Millennial Turkeys, Bearable Thomas, Lol Tom's Fat, and Facebook page KJ Hoffman 1969 from publishing false facts, inciting violence, or harassing plaintiff. And 6, removal of defamatory comment, injunctive release barring further harassment, imminent domain seizures of his old home address that he got evicted from. He's suing to try and get the rental property that he was evicted from imminently domain seized. which doesn't even make sense. He's like, you have to seize this house and then turn it into like a roundabout or something. Class certification and appointment of counsel and court costs and further relief deemed just. Okay, so that's what he's asking for. By the way, somebody from AMB posted like a fake court order ruling against him. And Tommy was like too lazy to even check to see if that was an actual response on his own court docket. So he just believed that it was true, that the lawsuit was over in 4 hours. So he started chimping out and accusing the judge of taking bribes, even though nothing happened. And that's that. Next. I already read that. Next. Okay, so this is another DMCA. I think that the Kiwi Farms, I think that Google is now like in a panic because their search engine is shit, and they're starting to like ease up of restrictions that they were placing against random sites that made their search engine completely unusable. Because now I'm starting to get a lot of DMCAs from like old shit, and in this instance, it's Pizzacake Comics. So Pizzacake Comics has hired Mark Bauman, a man I am very, very familiar with. Mark Bauman is a DMCA agent from San Diego, California. He's a DMCA agent paid for by OnlyFans to issue these automatic DMCA takedown notices. He has been sending them to me for years. In particular, what makes Mark Bauman special is that he does not reply to any email ever. These notifications are completely automatic. And I think they're fraudulent because I think that he's employed directly by OnlyFans. And when he sends out DMCAs complaining about OnlyFans content being available on other sites, including ours, which are used fairly for the purposes of criticism and ridicule, he simply he says that he's authorized to represent the client, but his client is OnlyFans, and OnlyFans does not own the copyright to the content that they publish, because if they did, they would be solely responsible for all the child pornography and shit that gets uploaded to OnlyFans. So they enjoy Section 230 protection because they don't claim ownership of any of the content they publish. They just publish it on behalf of people, and those people own the copyright. But anyways, despite that, Mark Bauman is the one sending DMCA takedown requests on behalf of individual content creators from OnlyFans, despite not actually representing them, which sounds like it's actually fraud for him to do that because he's not authorized to do so. Unless, I guess there could be like a clause that you give permission to OnlyFans to send Mark Bauman after people, but I'm not sure. I've actually asked him for clarification on this every time he emails me about OnlyFans stuff, because I say, you claim to represent OnlyFans, but you're sending DMCA takedown requests on behalf of content by individuals that OnlyFans claims explicitly they don't have the content ownership of. So could you please explain to me how you're authorized to send this DMCA takedown notice? He never, ever responds, ever. It has been like 5 fucking years of him sending these DMCA takedown requests, and he doesn't respond. And when I do send down like a letter to him, he actually sends up a subsequent takedown notice, and it just completely ignores my response every time. So I actually got, this one says second copyright infringement notice with a timestamp and micro time. And then I sent a reply outlining what I just said. And I reiterate that I've tried to contact you for years and you never fucking respond. And you're probably also creating liability because you're not considering fair use when you send takedown requests. And his response is nothing. He sends a third. So there wasn't a first one. Then there was the second one that I actually received. So he says that this is the second copyright notice. And that's probably a trick that he does where he just pretends that he's sending your second copyright notice so that it creates even more false urgency. Like, oh my God, I missed the first one. I got to read this real quick because I'm already on strike 2, you know? And then he sends in the third one and after my response, and it doesn't reply to anything that I say. So this is what he does. If I had infinite money, I would sue this fucking guy, because I guarantee you I could win a 512F complaint against him because he is representing people he's not authorized to represent for content that they don't own. He is sending DMCA takedown notices that say second copyright notice, but it's only been the first. He doesn't respond to any message ever for any reason, you know, just completely ignores it. And I bet you I could win for 512F, but do a fundraiser. It's just not worth it. If I just had disposable fuck you money, I would do it. But outside of this, So after I sent a response to this guy, Ellen Woodbury personally messages me, who is Pizzacake, and says, "People are harassing me. Please remove my personal information." I say, "Hello. Please be aware that you have opened yourself to liability under 17 U.S. 512F for having your DMCA agent, DMCA force, file multiple false, repeatedly knowing false DMCA takedown notices regarding your comments used fairly for the purposes of criticism and ridicule, which are especially relevant due to the political nature of these comics." And then I say, "I need your address." And she says, "Lamau, go for it." Now, she's Canadian, so this is another instance of someone who has never touched American soil, who has never smelled freedom in the air, who lives under an oppressive stank of monarchism and pajeets, trying to use American copyright law to force American companies to stop talking about her shit-ass fucking comics to suppress American freedom of speech. I absolutely despise it. So, this is a comic she posted after my takedown notice. I consider this a violent terroristic threat. This is stochastic terrorism. Here it says, "Oh no, there's something in these bushes." And she says, "Fear not, white citizens, Kristi Noem is here." And then look at that dog. Doesn't that dog remind you of somebody? And what does Kristi Noem do? She shoots that fucking dog. I consider this a veiled threat. Stochastic terrorism. Trying to make me in fear for my life, okay? I know what she's up to. Let's just read. I think that somebody actually, I forgot to bring this up. I was going to, I can't do it anymore because the fucking site's not loading. Maybe I can go to, do all my domains just redirect now? We used to have like kiwifarms.ro. Yeah, it just redirects to .st. Pain in my ass. See if I can find them. Just want to find some random comment. She also likes to post nude images of herself. So I'm wondering if she's going to try to send a Take It Down Act complaint, which she doesn't have the right to do because she posted them voluntarily on social media, which I consider to be a form of advertising. Here's another example of her comics. Women speaking up about their experiences to raise awareness and bring change is not an attack on men or a way to belittle their experiences. And then we have a straw man, a lovely straw man of her saying, "I've experienced abuse from some men in my life." And then there's a guy saying, "Nice straw man argument. Why do you hate men? Not all men are abusive. Men get abused too. Maybe you should have chosen better men." Are you saying only women can be victims? Men get attacked by men way more. So this is the comics that you're not allowed to repost and discuss, even though it is clearly a political comic. It is discussing current events. Often they are. Or they're talking about specific politicians, such as the one shooting the dog, but you're not allowed to ever repost it. You also can't talk about how she has a bizarre family life, how she discusses her children on social media, how despite discussing and posting pictures of her children on social media, she also posts pictures of her bare ass and weird like sexual poses of herself on the internet. You're not allowed to discuss that because, my good sir, that is copyright infringement, and you cannot do that. Very cool. Next. Let's do a little bit of a music review. So, Kanye West has put out an album called Cuck, and very famously in the song Heil Hitler, he says, "Yes, I am a cuck. I like when people fuck on my bitch." That is a line that he put in. Very interesting line. Now, this album, I've listened to the entire thing multiple times, and it's very bizarre because it has honestly some really, really good songs. Just from like what's the word? A sonic. I think that's what they say. It's a sonically. It's a good, like there are some good songs, ignoring how bizarre it is. And then there are also songs on it that are absolutely fucking terrible. And I kind of want to see. You know what? I'll get to that in a second. So this was like a viral marketing thing I think he did for the album. Let's just take a listen.
What? Nigga, how? Nigga, how? All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how? Nigga, how? Nigga, how? All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how? Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? All my niggas Nazi. Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? All my niggas Nazi. Nigga, how Hitler?
There's whenever I see stuff like this, I played so many of those fucking Paradox games. I'm just thinking like that sound effect of an event and like Hearts of Iron 4 where something's happening goes do 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 do, and like the pop-up pops up and it's like black shirts are on the rise, and because the fascist movement is gaining popularity in whatever country you're playing. This is literally the black shirts. They're black and they're wearing black shirts and they're singing "Nigga Heil Hitler." Funnily enough, this is in Hollywood because they're actually, if you don't, in the background, I forgot to mention this, but the star that they're actually circled around is the star for P. Diddy. So Kanye West has for some reason taken a very pro Diddy stance, and he's gotten the hooligans, which is the name of the black men that you see here in the black shirts. They are protecting the Diddy circle, the Diddy star, singing "Nigga Heil Hitler." But what's funny about this is that in the 1930s, when World War II was breaking out, there was a pro-German fascist movement in the United States that was very small. It wasn't like significantly notable. Much more notable was Charles Coughlin and the pro-German radio show Social Justice, which is where that word comes from. Actually, is Charles Coughlin, who was pro-German. But I think it was called the Silver Legion, and it was a explicitly fascist movement, and they were based out of Hollywood, strangely enough. So I assume that what happened is that somebody in Hollywood back in the old days saw that there was a rise of some influence in Hollywood, and he wasn't particularly fond of it. So they created the Silver Legion. So seeing "Nigga Heil Hitler" in Hollywood is so weird, just because it's like the least likely place you'd expect. But it also echoes the Silver Legion, kind of, in a very roundabout, metaphorical way. Okay, let's listen to a song, actually. This got taken down, but we are doing a fair use commentary. I want to show you one of the best songs. So there's the song called "Cousins." Now this is like a really hard song to vouch for. It starts off by him talking about how he sucked his cousin's dick, right? But then at a halfway point, apparently one of the producers for this thing is this guy called Dave Bluntz, and I think I even mentioned this, and someone links me. I'll try to find it real quick. Yeah. Okay. So, like halfway through this, it gets to like this melodic part. Oh, I'm such a fool. Trying to download songs from the Kiwi Farms. What am I thinking? Let me try to save these. And then I'll just play the YouTube video. He's actually starting. No, they're not. Dude, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the site. I can't wait to actually have a chance to fix things. Just fucking madness. Okay. So this is Cousins, and I gotta say the sample is really good. But then he gets to this part, and you're like, what? Reminds me so much of South Park, where Eric. So much South Park. So when Eric is like faking that he has that thing that Ethan Klein has, Tourette syndrome, and he keeps like saying like racist stuff, and then he like catches it for real because he stops having impulse control, and he starts saying, "My cousin and I touched wieners," and it's like that, but it's like real life, and it's Kanye West. And then it gets to the David Blunt's part. This part. Is this good? I love that. That's really good listening. And it's the irony is that this actually comes from Dave Blunt's song called 10 Perks. Now, I have to show you this video. Because it is preposterous. So Dave Blunt is like super morbidly obese. He has to be 700 pounds or something, to the point where he's tried to do tours and he's collapsed on stage from being like super fat. So his music video for this song is literally just him doing the boogie woogie on the couch next to like a skinny girl, just to show that he's got bitches and shit, even though he's 700 fucking pounds. And this is his version of the song, which came up before Cousins did. And all the comments of this are just making fun of it for being sampled or used in Cousins. But here.
I'm not talking about a man. Told her don't leave me, cause I need you by my side. As long as you don't leave me, then I'll probably be alright. And that one time that you left me, I didn't get no sleep that night. And that one time that you left me, I took 10 perks to get high.
I gotta say though, I prefer Kanye's version. Unironically, I think it just sounds way better. Just sounds so much better. So, very strange to have your good song sampled by Kanye West for Cousins, which is a song about sucking his cousin's dick, and then he actually outdoes you because the way that he tunes it and his voice sounds better, in my opinion. So that's my favorite song off the album. I will now play my least favorite song, and this is what I mean. That song is unironically a very good listen as far as I'm concerned. This song is some of the hottest fucking garbage I've ever heard. By the way, every single song has a reference to nitrous. I suppose now would be the appropriate time to mention that I've learned since my first couple mentions of this, I have learned that nitrous does actually have an active chemical, and it's not just starving the brain of oxygen. So if you're happy that I have learned that nitrous is an active chemical and is not just oxygen deprivation, please leave a comment on the clip saying that you're happy that I learned this. Okay, let's actually replay that because it's really bad and you need to hear it. This honestly sounds like a shit post that somebody posted to their personal YouTube channel. It does not sound like a Kanye West album song. To the good part. This is a good part. I think this is it. Hitler, yay, and Jesus. Hitler, yay, and Jesus. Just awful. Genuinely an awful fucking song, chat. Okay, and there's one more, and then I promise we're off the Yay album. I did listen to it because I was a little bit fascinated by this because it's so weird to hear such an overproduced shit post. You know what I mean? So this one is called. There's one about Diddy. I'm not gonna play that. It's just about Diddy. This one. By the way, he's made a statement that he is not putting this on the album. Because this is like a leaked release, so I think this was a pre-master. Because especially Hail Hitler is completely different and way worse on this. The version that he put out has that wonderful symphonic chorus on it that is just awesome and like instilling and vigorous. And this one is just him singing and doesn't have the chorus. So I'm assuming that this is like an early leak, and these are all early renditions. And I think he's cut this song, according to him, from the final album release. But this one's just wild to me just because of what he's talking about and the fact that he just tried to make this into a song. It's called Uncle.
Really got molested. My bitch sell pussy cause she really got molested. And she said her uncle never learned his lesson. Cause she sucked my dick like she tryna forgive pain. She don't know how to feel about it. She fuck. Keep selling your pussy, baby. I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to talk you out of. I really think that you should be proud of. I really think you should fuck my game. When she sucking, made me go insane. My bitch sell pussy cause she really got molested.
So in case you're in your car and your bass has blown out your fucking eardrums because of that song, I forgot to do post. The lyrics are, my bitch sucked my dick like she's trying to forget that she really got molested. And then he also says, baby, I don't care if you sell your pussy. Be proud of it. Honestly, I've heard a lot of crazy shit in my life. That is one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard put into a song. And I've listened to like the Justin RPG Reshiram, my wife Reshiram, digested by the legendary Pokemon Reshiram. And then I've also heard that Nick Stautzenberger song that's like fucking Anna's intestines or whatever the fuck. This is honestly really bizarre. It's up there, man. It's up there with the Nick Bate like fucking little girls and Justin RPG Vor album in terms of like, are you really singing about your wife's molestation and that's why she's like a prostitute? It's because she got molested. Okay, bro. I guess that's where we're at. I think he realized that was in bad taste at some point because he says that he pulled it from the album and this was just leaked without his permission. So. I don't know. I guess in some way I can kind of understand like therapy art and this wasn't supposed to go out and it was just something that he was producing for himself, I guess, or for her. And then it got leaked without his permission. Like that's the most generous possible way to interpret that. Otherwise, that's just real fucking weird, bro. I mean, it's weird regardless, but to actually try and release it, it's just astounding. Anyways, that's that. That's the Kanye West segment. Now, obviously, this rise of fascism has a lot of people scared. In particular, I regret to inform everybody that 2 Israeli diplomats were shot and killed at a public event in Washington, D.C. yesterday, as anti-Semitism is on the rise. And these 2 young men with their lives ahead of them were taken before their time at the hands of a gunman who shouted "Free Palestine," and was taken into custody. And oddly, he was not Arab; he was Mexican, I believe. So there are Mexicans in the United States listening to Hassan Piker, taking up arms and killing young Jewish men serving their state of Israel in a diplomatic capacity. And Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL has officially pointed the blame at the Turk Roach.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state. Like, extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed. This is a moment when we need to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we've got to stop this because the consequences are deadly.
The way Jonathan Greenblatt says gamer sounds like how people say Zionist, just with all that hate and venom. Zionist, Jonathan Greenblatt. Gamer, Hassan Piker. Just pure, utter contempt. Vitriolic hatred. The kind of hatred that gets somebody shot on the steps of Washington, D.C. Actually, there's a clip that I want. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to find that for me real quick. Because this woman, I've seen this woman twice this week. She interviewed Jonathan Greenblatt, who made fun of Hassan Piker and said that he's a raving anti-Semitic lunatic. And then there's another clip that I'm just reminded of her having another wonderful interaction. I'm pretty sure it's the same woman. She's not lucking out on interviews this week. I'll say that. I think we also have to give a happy birthday to our friends over at R Drama, of whom we have many shared posters, fun-loving folks of various diverse backgrounds who come over to shitpost. In fact, I think real drama meme. Yeah, it is in the Maddie thread. I'll find it. The real drama. I think he is one of them too. I think he's a. I've called him the R drama correspondent for the Man at the Internet. So, to celebrate 4 years of independence from Reddit, R drama users went to the statue. This is a real statue. This is like a 9,000-pound brass statue of a black queen that just sits out in front of Times Square. In kind of the same way that if you go to Serbia, you'll see kings on horses with giant horse sheaths underneath them. In the same way that if you go to Ukraine, you'll see statues to the Kazakh kings that settled the land. In the same way that you'll see statues to Washington in the district, you now see this black queen who rules over you, who works for the IRS. She represents the black women, the 63% of all college-educated black women who work directly for the federal government. 63% of all college degree holding black women work for the federal fucking government, effectively meaning that the federal government is a subsidization of black women across the country. Every dollar given to black women, 63 cents of those go to federal employees. She works for the IRS. She works for the TSA. If you call the IRS and ask about the status of your nonprofit and corporation tax exempt status, then you're talking to her. If you're going through the TSA and you're getting your beehole diddled, you're being diddled by her. When forensics is going through your house with the Department of Homeland Security, you are being investigated by her. When you're at the DMV, you're waiting on her. That's who rules over you. So obviously, our drama decided to pay pilgrimage and put a sign for our drama on her to show respect, in the same way that we give coins to fountains and so on. Let's see. Oh, Chiobu, by the way, he celebrated the 4th year of our drama in a Sri Lankan hospital. Apparently, he had a heart condition, and he was required to go to a facility. I guess for whatever reason, he decided to visit Sri Lanka. If you don't know what Sri Lanka is that shitty little island off the southeast coast of India. Like, you might think that shitty little island is actually India itself. It is not. It used to be ruled by the Tamil kings, and for some reason was never considered a part of India. When I lived in Ukraine, for whatever reason, there were decorative plates of different countries on the wall in my apartment in Ukraine that were there because it was a furnished apartment when I got there. And one of them was to Sri Lanka. However, it was called Ceylon, I think, Cylyon or some shit like that. And it was called the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. So this our drama explorer, conquistador, was on the island of Ceylon, and Ceylon, enjoying the pearl of the Indian Ocean. And then his heart gave out because the natural beauty of that island took his breath away and stopped his heart. And okay, look, if he had died in the country of Sri Lanka, then at the very least, he would die under one of the coolest flags in the entire world. One of the nicest flags, a composite of the 3 Tamil kings, if I remember correctly. Kind of reminds me of the flag of Venice, which is also an incredible flag. Yeah, see, someone brought up the flag before I did. That's how you know. That's how you know it's a good flag. So good job not dying, Siobu, because he's a good pooster. I like him. Yeah, George Floyd, Marzi. Got some stickers for rdrama.net. rdrama.net, 0 days without having to look 0 days without having to look at an obese black woman. Oh man. If only we were so lucky to have that increment up to 1 day. Oh, he put up the George Floyd Marzi on this booth. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. It's in Spanish, despite being in New York City. You know how much I fucking despise Spanish? How much I fucking hate the Spanish language? How much I fucking hate everybody who speaks fucking Spanish? There is one thing that actually makes me have a psychotic mental break in the middle of a Walmart is when I look at a product and I'm inspecting it and I'm looking at its labels and I see the sentence hecho in chino. When I say hecho in chino, I know that is the perfect summation of the decline of this wonderful country and everything that our forefathers fought and bled for. Hecho in chino. Like, I don't want to fucking hear about no fucking hecho and no fucking chino, okay? Actually sickening. I can't believe it's like what you see. It's just in Spanish, like we're in fucking Mexico. It should be banned. Nothing should be written in Spanish in this fucking country. Pague con metro con solamente compra aquí a boleto antes sabía autobús. Don't give a fuck. Didn't fucking ask. If you can't read, get ticket here. If you can't look at this fucking sign and figure out that you buy a fucking ticket here, you're walking, bitch. You're walking down the fucking street. There shouldn't be anybody helping you. There shouldn't be any translations, any select your fucking language, any other sign, any other language. If you can't figure out that this means get your fucking ticket here, this fucking icon underneath the George Floyd Marzi, your ass should be fucking walking, bro. Don't move to California. No, fuck, trust me, bro. I'm not moving to no fucking California. This is New York City. This is as far fucking away from Mexico as you can possibly get. There should be a hard barrier from the Rio Grande up to the southern border of Oregon. There is no excuse. It's the new Donna Dixie line, all right? If you cross the Mexico line from the southern tip of the Pacific coast on the Oregon border all the way down to the easternmost part of Texas, if you cross that fucking line and you see Spanish, whoever put that sign up, guilty of treason, should be shot on sight by police for like how if you saw somebody walking around with a bomb, the police should be able to shoot you. If you're holding a sign that's in Spanish over that fucking line, you just get shot. You just get dropped on the spot. It's not worse to me than people speaking Russian. I mean, at least in Alaska, that used to be Russia. There was no part of the United States has ever been Mexican, no matter what anybody has to say about that shit. I don't give a fuck if there's a place literally called New Mexico. We're renaming it. It's no longer New Mexico, okay? We're calling it some shit else. We're calling it the fucking Gym State or something. Gymtopia. Apparently that's what you do down there in New Mexico and Arizona is you have rocks. We'll call it Shiny Rock State or some shit. New America. That's right. That's right. Cristoforo Colombo. And then he put a little Marzi next to Columbus. That's nice. Pay respects to our greats, the big fat black obese fucking gorilla, and Christopher Columbus, Portuguese discoverer of the. That's nice. Thank you. Okay, our next video is gone. Unfortunately, we will have to simply seethe in silence, chat. We'll never be able to watch this video. Oh wait, I might have a backup video just in case. Let's see. Okay, yes, I found it. It is the same fucking woman. It looks like it's the same day and everything. Hold up. Oh no, it's not a different day. She has a different shirt on. Okay. All right, here. Before I proceed from the black woman segment, let's listen to what chat. A black woman is speaking. It's time to listen.
You are now facing a federal charge, though. Are you afraid of what's going to transpire now?
You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on, oh, you fight on.
Bravo, bravissimo, bravo. A black woman has spoken, chat. I love that. The best part about this is her face, where I imagine that news reporters have some sort of like cybernetic thing that's like placed on their spine, and when they have to act serious in the face of a black person and injects them with some sort of numbing agent, like on the spot, like it sedates her face so she can't smirk at how fucking ridiculous this is, just to take this seriously. Nice of her. Anyways, so the next video. It's gone, chat. What do we do? Well, thankfully, I have saved it, of course. This is a video by Technicals, who is an honorary Aryan, chat. This guy put out, how long is this fucking video? It's like 2.5 hours, right? 2:15. So this guy put out a 2:15 long video about hacks. Now, hacks has a place near and dear to my heart, chat. Hacks is a guy that I did a stream on years ago, when buck breaking had just come out. At the same exact time, Hacks had posted a video called Evidence.zip 2. Evidence.zip 2 was the long-awaited sequel to Evidence.zip, which was allegations made against the Super Smash Bros. Melee competitive player called Leffen, in which Hacks alleged that Leffen was fucking with him. And the two main things that were takeaways, once you strip away the insanity of that video, was that Leffen was intentionally, deliberately trying to gaslight him and bully him, and that Leffen was also trying to stop him from playing competitive Smash by not permitting his controller to be used. Because Hacks was so... like, if you play the Super Smash Bros. Game, because it's a 20-year-old game, and to play it competitively, you basically have to exploit a bunch of, like, glitches. And to do that involves these very intense and precise and repetitive motions on the old GameCube controller. So if you play this game enough to be really good at it, you might get, like, tinnitus, and then your hand starts to fall apart because you're playing on this controller in this very, like, repetitive way. So Hacks actually invested his own personal money to hire people to develop an arcade controller, which allows you to lay your hands flat and just press with one button to each finger, press the different buttons without having to move your fingers or make repetitive motions, which allowed him to continue to play this game at a competitive level, despite having a serious physical problem with his hands. And this guy, Leffen, fought against him being allowed to use his controller in competitive games. Whatever. As an Irish shit, whatever. What's the one where it's like tendons? Tendinitis? Tendinitis. He has tendinitis of his fucking hands, not tinnitus, chat. So he had tendinitis of his hands, prohibited from playing with a regular controller, and he had to use a specially designed handicap accessible controller that allowed him to play competitively. And this controller was not like giving him an edge, because the main issue was that he got the tendinitis like in his thumb, and so he couldn't use a joystick. So he had to map out the controller with buttons to emulate a joystick, which is obviously not ideal for a three-dimensional game. So you have to like mix your button presses to somehow emulate joystick three-dimensional movement, and it put him at a disadvantage. But because he played so much, he was able to actually play competitively, semi-competitively, with his handicap accessible controller. And this fucking asshole who just hated him for because he was like a weird spurg, actively fought against allowing him to use his box controller to play this game as if it was like a cheating device, even though he had certified, medically like diagnosed gimpy fucking hands. And it's like the most insane, cruel thing you can possibly imagine. He was like a Fingal, by the way. He was like half Korean, half Finnish. So he was like this bizarre fucking neurotic retard that was just like trying to beat up on this absolute fucking spurg from the Middle East. He was like an Arab. So this was like Hapa on Arab violence over a 25-year-old party game that I last played when I was like 11 years old. And eventually, after this video got released, the real controversy was, I actually watched through this fucking thing. Because it was so weird to me. I watched through it, and I listened to what he had to say, and I looked up what the fuck he was talking about, and I understood what he meant about teching, and how he had to use certain hand control things, and I spent the time to look through the bullshit, because a lot of this video was him spurging about how Leffen was like a dark triad Hitler, like impersonator, like how he was trying, like that video of Joe Biden, Trump is using Hitler's language, like he was pulling that kind of shit, and it made his video look absolutely demented. But if you strip away all the psychotic bullshit The core of it was, this guy is being a huge dickhead to me, and he's trying to block me from using my handicap controller. So I felt really bad for him. It was very obvious, even though the video was like insane, that he was not like all put together right, and he was trying to play his fucking stupid ass fucking game, and this guy was not letting him do that. I understood that. I got it. I'm I'm like the chief cyber bully. My job is to bully trannies to death. And I watched the video and I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. This guy's being a dickhead to him. That's really unfair. Nobody else in the Smash community was able to do what I did. And so after watching this video, they permanently banned him from all Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments forever. Forever. It was a permanent, unappealable, indefinite suspension. And the few people that stepped out of line to give him a chance to play this game in their local tournaments, he did fine. He played like, I think the guy said like 40 plus different matches with no incidents, no problems, no interpersonal disputes, no evidence, .zip 3. He did just fine. And he, after years and years of trying to get his actual friends to step up and help him overturn this ban that was bullshit, he tried to kill himself. He jumped in front of a fucking train to kill himself because he was a spurg that loved Melee, and all the trannies and spurgs that ran the tournaments wouldn't let him play ever again. So his legs got chopped off, or one of his legs. He got ran over by a fucking train and dismembered, and he took physical therapy to learn how to walk again because his leg got severed by a train. And then after the suicide attempt, they still wouldn't let him play Smash. He just wanted to use his fucking gimpy hand controller to play Smash Bros. At tournaments because he was really good at it and really liked the game. They still wouldn't let him play because they said that he was even more deranged and dangerous than before, even though he had been invited to and participated in 40 plus tournaments over years at a local level with no issues whatsoever. And in the background, there were people fucking with him again. He had gotten this devoted entourage of Super Smash Bros. Like top players gaslighting him, telling him that Leffen was paying them to fuck with him, that the people that were banning him and refusing to even talk to him about being unbanned were on Leffen's payroll. Like he was getting proper Chris Chan gaslighted behind the scenes. And he told people about this. He told people that there were people fucking with him and they were like in on it. There was like an entire network of people pretending to be different people, pretending to do things on behalf of other people and like gaslighting this fucking guy. So all over Smash. And then he died. He's fucking dead. And there's some ambiguity on if he committed suicide or if this was a complication from his prior like incident, like you know, having the amputated leg cause blood clots that killed him or something. It's not clear if he committed suicide or you know, attempted and succeeded this time or what. But what is clear is that he was never permitted to play professional Melee again after making what is honestly a really goofy video. And I imagine if you're listening, many of you don't even know what I'm talking about with the evidence.zip video. I made one of my favorite streams of all time was buckbreaking.zip. You can find it. It's a great stream. It's a stream with only 2 segments, the buckbreaking segment and the evidence.zip segment. It's one of the best streams I've ever done. It's very long too. But if you don't remember that, that's how long it's been. That's how long they've kept this shit over his head, keeping him out of the professional scene in this game, is that it's been so long you don't even remember it happening. It's just insane. So this guy called Technicals, he's black. And he's like, I don't even know who to compare him to. He's like the Kiwi Farms, I guess, of the Super Smash Bros. Melee community. He's blacklisted himself because he's black. Of course, he goes on the blacklist, chat, because of the inherent institutionalized racism found in the Super Smash Bros. If we're being honest here, he's one of the only black players, and he's on the blacklist, chat. Is that a fucking coincidence, chat? I don't think so. I don't think so, chat. I think that's racism, chat. It's disgusting. Puh. Puh. These racist trannies that run this shit, chat. So, he made this video, and it was brought to my attention because of this little part. Okay, let's just watch the first minute and see what happens in this first minute chat.
Today, I'm going to be talking on a tragic thing that happened this morning. The legendary Super Smash Bros. Melee player, Hax Money, has tragically passed away.
Hax in the Melee community passed away today.
Hax Money passed away. There was a lot of dark things surrounding the lead up to this.
Yeah, just RIP to Hax.
This run is for Hax Money. Yeah, rest in peace, Hax Money. In all seriousness, that's very sad that he passed away.
This video is about Hax, my friend who passed away.
We were made aware of his hospitalization 24 hours prior to his passing, thanks to the efforts of his mom.
Yet I only knew him for 3 months, and I feel like I've lost a good friend.
He defended me, and I should have been braver for him.
The way that Hax's ban and now his death are being treated is a fucking joke.
For you guys to put somebody in this box, ruin their reputation, ruin their livelihood, and then this person who clearly needs this game, you drove him to kill himself.
And you say, where are the bad guys? That we bully people to death. That was not I. It was not I that kept Hax from playing Super Smash Bros. Melee with his handicap accessible device. It was not I that gaslit him and celebrated him being banned from the Melee tournaments. It was you, Leffen. It was you, Leffen. Gotta say, chat, one of my finest moments. So that just shows you, by the way, why this black social pariah Technicals is on the outskirts, the dusty edges, the fraying fabric of the Melee community, because he is willing to clip me. So, I would recommend this if you're bored, if you're looking for some content. And especially if you've not seen the stream that I did called buckbreaking.zip that you can find on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Watch that. It's like 3 hours long. It's probably one of the best streams I've ever done. And then watch this video for another 2 hours and 15 minutes of content by Technicals, which goes over in painstaking fucking detail about how almost everybody you just listened to is one of the most two-faced, duplicitous cunts that have ever fucking lived. Because, in particular, one of those people that I mentioned were like in the Chris Chan trolling gaslighting group, talking to him and pretending to like that Leffen was paying them to do shit to like make him paranoid and shit. They went to his funeral and gave a eulogy in front of his grieving mother about how they were good friends when just days before he had been fucking with him in a Signal message. And by the way, Technicals had mentioned that there is a lot of concern and controversy over Hax's social media accounts being very active. And there was some like debate that maybe he wasn't dead and it was his mother, because it was claiming to be his mother. It's like, there's no way that that's his mother on Twitter, because she's like 60. Technicals met his mother in person and says that she is like clued in to Super Smash Bros. Melee, because I'm sure that Hax talked to her all the time about this game. So she knew all the players involved. She knew a lot about how the game worked, even though she's like a 60-year-old woman. Like, because apparently Hax talked about this fucking game with her all the time. And even though people were really weirded out and suspicious that she knew so much about it, in person he says that she still knows all this stuff, and she just knows it because he talks about it so much. So I don't know. It's just crazy. Did she A-log him too? I don't think so. I think she was a big supporter, based on what I saw. So I don't know. It's crazy to me. And the fucking cowards, by the way, who signed this this letter, because there was like an open letter about the decision to ban Hax, and it was signed by like 20 plus people and entire organizations from some of the top community organizers in the entire professional scene, which, by the way, is entirely self-ran. Nintendo refuses to have anything to do with Melee. And the way that it's going, Nintendo might start using copyright to try and shut down any of these independent circuits, because this Melee scene is like so fucking embarrassing, continually having tranny drama, people committing suicide, people coming out as pedophiles and having sexual misadventures and shit. It's like they might actually start using copyright law to shut this shit down, because it's just, like, it's one of the worst things you could ever be associated with as a company. So, and if that happens, they've completely brought it on themselves. I'm not going to be surprised. But yeah, so the people that signed this document, by the way, they went back and they hid their names. They're such fucking cowards that they went back to the Hax decision That was like a 5-year-old decision now, maybe older, and they removed their names from it because they're such pussies. And then the people that were involved in the gaslighting segment, and these are like the. Can I find this real quick? That's it.
Hax's stubbornness and the fact that he kept relapsing on his band situation.
Where is it? I feel like this is it right here, because that's the guy, right?
Some false hope, LMAO. I picture Hax refreshing Willie's Twitter constantly for days.
Oh, so this is a message that this guy sent a week after he attempted to commit suicide.
Between him and Willie, which gave Hax some false hope, LMAO. I picture Hax refreshing Willie's Twitter constantly for days looking for that announcement, which was never coming. I think you guys get the idea.
That's him at the funeral giving a eulogy.
Shit exactly like this. I can't even begin to explain how evil you have to be to actively fuck over negotiations to get his life back, make fun of his disability and depression, and then show up at his funeral and in front of his own mother act like you gave a single fuck about him. I know this is you because I confirmed it with Manalord and I joined the server and found the rest of what you were saying myself.
This is Item Hog, by the way. That's the guy that's like the main gaslighter that showed up at the funeral.
Find this? I'm amazed you were stupid enough to think I'd let you off the hook. Let's give a shout out to Chops, Joey, and IOUK for all their work in encouraging Hax to make more videos for our entertainment.
One of the things that they did is they encouraged Hax to make a subsequent video about internet drama, and that was like one of the big conditions for him being allowed to play at like the local tournament I mentioned, is that they said you cannot for any reason keep making drama videos. You have to stop. And they kept encouraging him, like, bro, you have. This is exactly like with Chris Chan. Like, Chris had the right mind to ignore certain trolls at certain points in time, and the trolls around him pretending to be his friends was like, no, bro, you got to do something about this. They're gonna take your girlfriend, bro. They're gonna take your girlfriend unless you make a video about this and show how serious it is to you right now, bro. And then he would make the video. And a lot of the classic Chris content is the shit where Chris would have just ignored something, but people made him like really concerned. Like they had this fear of missing out that if he didn't make a video right now addressing it, then he would lose something or he would lose his girlfriend or something. So it's like the exact same shit 1-to-1 where they tell him, yeah, you're not allowed to make a drama video, but if you don't make a drama video, it would be even worse, bro. Trust me. And then he gets kicked out of the local tournament that he's allowed to participate in, and then he kills himself. That's literally what happens. And then the guy shows up at his funeral because he thinks he thinks it's funny. And then, after he gets called out, by the way, the fucking asshole files a privacy complaint, and the video gets taken down. So YouTube automatically, because his DMs get leaked or whatever the fuck, assume that there's like a valid privacy complaint to try and force this guy to edit out his the logs and shit. So, it's just, honestly, I fucking despise them. They're so awful. It's just honestly like the worst people ever. And the worst part is, it's like, okay, if you have like a genuine dark triad, like sociopath troll, it's like, haha, I'm going to troll the retarded guy into committing suicide. Like, that's one thing. It's another thing to be a part of this progressive moral fag tranny community and then also be like, yeah, I'm going to troll the retarded guy into committing suicide. Because aren't you supposed to be inclusive and accepting and tolerant and understanding and so on and so forth? No, you're just psychopaths, but you pretend to care about this other shit? Okay, I got you. I know your type. I know what you are. That's that. Apparently his mother is raising money to sue some of these people, so I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. I don't know what her financial situation is like or if people are going to fundraise that, but if that happens, I would definitely be following that. Oh yeah, mental health is so important to us. Fucking asshole. Next, brief update on Synthetic Man. I don't really have much to add to this, except that he now has a thread. In fact, he now has 2 threads. I don't know why Chud Borean and the Soyjack people are so into Synthetic Man. I guess because apparently Chud Boring, I don't know, I don't trust this. Chud Boring is apparently a girl, and all the other little soy jacks, they simp for her in the soy jack thread. They're like, oh, Chud Boring, you're my wife, XOXO. But you know, you don't know these things. You don't know how these things actually are. So, anyways, they made this thread. They worked on it together. Very proud of them. And then, I'll make an addendum. There's an and then, but before then, I think, did I read this on stream? I think I did. I think I read the apology letter on stream and how that he like shits on his fans. No, I didn't read the apology letter. Yeah, I did. There's a little addendum if I've already read this. Otherwise, I don't have much else to say about him. Okay, so he wrote an apology letter. I read that. People called him out. He got really pissed off. And then, in the aftermath of that, the Chuds got together and they have made a thread for his simps. Oh, look, they even took a line from the letters. My fans are fucking pathetic. I talked to Kirsha privately about content creator related stuff, but I'm not delusional simp. I have no intention to try to date her or whatever retarded shit people are saying. There's right up there at the front. From the man himself saying, my fans are fucking retards. At the top of his thread about his fans. They put this together. What's really impressive about this, by the way, is that the Soyjack people generally try to annoy the fuck out of me as much as possible by trying to like break every rule or try to like get as close to breaking a rule as possible to see what they can get away with. And then when they made this thread, they actually did it correctly because it's a thread about some certain users on the site as well. And there's a process to this that if you want to make a thread on somebody that you found through the site, you have to ask for permission first. And they managed to do it. They did everything right and like cleared it with me first. I'm actually really surprised by that. It's kind of like a methamphetamine crackhead filing the correct form with the IRS to proceed. Like, oh yeah, that's your form 27B. That's filled out correctly. I guess I have no reason to object to this whatsoever. And like, I don't know how you pulled that off, but okay. Whatever. Everything's in order here. That's honestly the best thing you can be, chat. In ordnung. Sehr important. That's all about. That's some. Our boy ReviewTech. Now, ReviewTech is somebody I never paid attention to ever. I don't know why. I think I've talked multiple times about how my favorite piece of Dark Side Phil content is this video that oh god, I can't remember the guy posts on the Kiwi Farms even, and he made this wonderful video about Dark Side Phil's playthrough with Dark Souls, the expansion pack, and how he does basically every single thing wrong. Ludwig World Order. In his video about his playthrough of the Dark Souls expansion, or the Bloodborne expansion, I think. And there's one part of that, which is the Living Failures parody. That's one of the funniest things ever made in terms of like lolcow content. And one of the Living Failures is ReviewTechUSA. And to give you an idea of how little attention I pay to ReviewTechUSA, breaking news. Okay. So to give you an idea of how little attention I pay to ReviewTechUSA, I didn't even recognize him. He's in this meme that I really like, and I had no idea who he is. Because I guess he's just so irrelevant. But he's like the pet lolcow of PPP. And one of the things that he's done in his fall into irrelevance is now tattooed Darkside Phil's face onto his arm. And oh my god, that's so embarrassing. For whatever reason, ReviewTechUSA is absolutely fucking obsessed with when Darkside Phil masturbated on stream. He brings this up every day. Every year on May 4th, he calls it the May 1st burst. Every year on May 1st, he celebrates. I guess he has it in a calendar somewhere. Probably not. He probably just knows by heart this day. And every year, like clockwork, he celebrates the May 1st burst. And he's so enamored by this. so enamored that Darkside Phil masturbated on stream that he literally took his orgasm face and tattooed it on his skin. And I think he modified it a little bit so that it's like Simon Belmont from Castlevania, like slaying him or something, so that it's not just Darkside Phil's cum face on his arm, but it's still Darkside Phil's cum face on his arm, chat. And this is what he did. He made a couple $1,000s off of this and called it a win, even though like you can just get a job and in the same amount of time and effort get a couple $1,000s. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to just tattoo Darkside Phil's face into his skin. I honestly, I don't think there's another instance of ever happening. I can't think of another time where something lolcow related was tattooed onto another person. Like you have Aniza and iDubbbz, and they tattoo retard shit on themselves. You have ADF who tattoos retard shit on himself. But I can't think. You have a Josh tattoo? Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything. This is the first. And it's Ricada. Yeah, Ricada gets retard tattoos. But those are all like personal tattoos, right? So I just don't get it, man. Like, is this like an epic own? I don't think Ricada is tattooed because it's like you brand mark yourself with Phil. And you know what Phil's reaction to this was? He says, "I don't give a shit," and then quickly moves on to the next topic. That's it. He epically owned Darkside Phil, who could not possibly care less. He called it pathetic and moved on. Epic. Awesome, bro. All the Darkside Phil detractors, are they going to flock over to ReviewTechUSA because now he's their prince, he's their king? No, they all said it was pathetic, and they're over it. And he made like a couple $1,000s from it, and that's it. Now he can go back to what I really hate about him. By the way, I understand why people like have like this absolute vendetta against him. Is when he talks, he is one of the most smug, slimy, condescending people you've ever heard. The way like his casual conversation voice and the way he speaks like he's better than everybody else and his shit doesn't stink, it's actually infuriating. It's like, I wish I could see someone beat the fuck out of you because you just need to be taken down like 8 million pegs. Is actually extremely obnoxious. I mean, yeah, like everything else he does, like his presence on mic, like how he's boring, his soundboard, like those are problems that many people have. Many people try to substitute comedy with a soundboard. Many people don't have the quick wit to stay flowing on the microphone when they're talking. And you know, that's like a common issues with like podcasters. Review Tech, when he talks, he is just so fucking condescending and smug. And it's just like, I would just love to see somebody absolutely fucking whip you. And that's like a rare thing for me to feel that way. I feel that way about Wings of Redemption. Before he went like SSRI zombie, he would do this thing where he would like, I just want to stream and have a good game, have a good time. And then he would like instantly like 180 on that and be like, I make good money, you know. I make good money just playing my video games. I got my own house. I got my own land. A lot of people can't say that. I got my truck. You know, I'm doing just fine, It's like you can't do the dog whimper voice and then talk about how everything is you're going your way and you've got your everything all figured out. It's like that's that other kind of smug. It's like, fuck you, buddy. But ReviewTech does the exact same thing too, where he like pleads poverty, and then he also like 180s and just like the most smug, pretentious cocksucker to ever fucking live. And it's just, this is why corporeal punishment exists. You deserve to be beaten like a dog. How is Bossman not like that? Because Bossman's funny. Because Bossman is humbled routinely. So cause I don't need to wish bad things on Bossman because he humbles himself continuously, and it's just like a little roller coaster. But with them, they're just being exploitative. They're just being manipulative. They're not funny about it. Shut up, pussy. That's right. Carl Jobs, in his infinite wisdom, has decided. Here's my theory: Carl doesn't have any friends, and he can't talk to his wife because she's like Chinese and just goes ting tong, ting chong, ping pong, and then he tries like, "Hello, wife. Today I have lost my lawsuit, and we are going to lose the house." And then she's like, well, I Beijing Tiananmen, Tiananmen, Changfeng, Changchong. He just has no ability to communicate with her. And then he has no friends because he walks up to them at random and says, hey, babe, you're looking cute today. And they stop talking to him. So he's completely socially isolated from the entire world. So then he goes on to Discord, where he has some absolute legends to talk to, including people who constantly leak his private messages out to the world to see. And so this is the conversation. Someone asks, is he getting a $400,000 settlement? Carl says he won't get it. Someone asks, oh, awesome. I wasn't sure if this was some clause that prevented you from doing that. He says, how can Billy get something I don't have? My YouTube channel is owned by a company. I have a $1 million house with $1 million mortgage. My channel is owned by a company, which is now the sole director of is my wife. I'm just an employee of the company. So he says, so your wife is the breadwinner, very progressive. She's an accountant. He says, well, I'm glad you did it that way so we don't have to pay this fucking con man a second mortgage. It would be insane if your wealth went to Billy instead of your children. Whose fault is that, buddy? Carl is like, actually, a company owns my channel, not me, and the company is Carl Jobs Inc. Unfathomably giga, if you ask me. This is Carl Jobs Gaming Pty Ltd. The way things are looking, Billy will lose $500,000 by suing me. Hopefully his hot sauce coupons make up for it. Fortunately for me, most of my costs were crowdfunded. The moral of the story is don't spend $700,000 suing someone who's a net worth of $200,000. A stranger says, I would have thought that you were at least well off with a house that has shot up in price, so you would have equity if it's sold. He says, that's why I have anything, but it's jointly owned, so I only own half the equity. He says, will you redraw on the mortgage or have to sell? He says, my wife will buy me out, so she will own it. I will give the exact details in my update vid. If my wife wasn't buying me out, then yes, I would have to sell. This isn't even cheese, it's just standard. Ask any YouTuber my size, they all have companies for tax reasons. So this guy goes onto the internet and freely admits that he intends to restructure his assets in a way to defy a court order to pay Billy Mitchell, which is a bad idea. He seems to have this idea that if he just structures things right, then he can get away with pleading poverty and just shift $1 million of equity into somebody else's name and be done with it. Problem is that she's his wife, and the problem is that this is all happening after the fact. So it's not like he really thought ahead and he structured his assets in such a way that his wife owns everything explicitly. It's that he is doing it now so that when he comes to collect, he can say, ho ho, my wife owns everything and I own nothing because I am poor and broke and I only work for her, ho ho. And then he's just like, oh, gosh darn it. I guess I lose then. I guess this was all for naught. I guess my whole meddling litigation adventure overseas has terminated in yet the most unsatisfactory way possible. And I bow my head. I tip my hat to you. I kneel in respect. Good sir, you have bested me. Like, that's actually what he thinks is going to happen. And it's like, no, you're going to get beaten. You're going to get clubbed like a baby seal. And you're going to get extracted from. And if you think that you can just juggle your fucking assets, you're a retard. As if he's the first person to ever think of this. As this is the first lawsuit ever that ended unsatisfactorily, and then a person decided to shift all his assets to another person. Wasn't there even oh god, do you remember the Tiger King? The Tiger King did this exact thing. He got sued by PETA, and he got sued by that Carol Baskin woman. And after he lost, he shuffled the zoo into like his mother's name and shit. And it's like, we're not fucking stupid. You know, the courts aren't brand new. They've been around for 250 fucking years in this country. You're not the first person to try this shit. All that shit can be wound back when it was done with intent to defraud the court, especially. Come on now. You really think you're the first? Yeah. Oh, and then there's this, the actual PTY Ltd. Carl Jobs Gaming literally called that. So not only is this like evidence that he's doing this, he actually names the exact fucking company so you can prove in court. Like, he wasn't talking about another asset that he owned that he was fraudulently restructuring. It was this one by name, Carl Jobs Gaming Pty Ltd. with this number. And then we see here. on May the 9th and April the 22nd and March the 1st. Changed the company details, changed the registered address, changed the place of business, officer name or address, member name or address, changed the company details, changed the registered address. So he just admits, yeah, all this restructuring that was done to deprive Billy Mitchell of, and it was done the day of. March 1st is when, no, it was April 1st when the thing came in. So he changed it the month of, expecting to lose. Precisely 1 month before the judgment was made, he restructured his assets that were made in his fucking name so that he's not the owner of it. It's just genius. It really is. It's that kind of profound intellect that you get only from watching videos of speedrunners beat Super Mario 35 years after the fact and 10 seconds faster than the previous best chat. No, you're right. It's 2025. So it's even worse. It's 21 days after the fact, after the judgment, that he decides to change the details of the registered address. Okay. Let's see. All right. That's Carl. Next, lots of litigation this stream. Let's talk about Greer v. Moon, 2019. That's still going on. Did you know that? So, here's a fun update that my attorney is personally invested in this lawsuit because he finds it fascinating. The wheelings and dealings of Russell Greer are amusing to him and of personal interest to the litigation. So, he's been taking advantage of Nevada's Sunshine Act, which I don't know if it's called Sunshine Act in Nevada, but it's basically public record information. And he's been filing requests to different counties like, hey, is there any business dealings going on here with a Russell Greer or these companies? And he recently discovered that a man named Waylon has been involved in Russell Greer, purportedly, according to Russell Greer, to acquire some brothel real estate in counties that allow prostitution. As it seems, Russell's ultimate goal is to eventually own a brothel and have, I assume, unrestricted access to prostitutes as his primary purpose in running this business, as he's very interested in such things. Now, he recently, and this was of interest to us because Russell Greer is pleading poverty and saying that there is no way that he can afford to pay $425 of informa pauper or filing fees for the case. That's been going on for 5 years. He's had 5 years to make $400. He said there's no way he can do that. The problem is that between the day that he was ordered to pay the fees and the day that he later walked back his capacity to pay the fees, he actually incorporated a new company called Intimate Dealings Nevada LLC, or ID in the LLC. He actually made Intimate Dealings LLC defunct, and he revoked it, and then reincorporated it as ID in the LLC, an acronym for Intimate Dealings. And in this, he listed WH as a managing member. Now, you cannot supply acronyms as a member or a company. And these WH acronym is very specific and seems to apply to one person in particular named Waylon, who is a real estate agent in the county that he seems interested in buying land to open a brothel. There's an issue with this guy being listed as a member in that he did not consent. And he seems to want to specifically avoid putting his name on any documents, even though it's obviously this one guy. So that will be interesting for Russell Greer if he is filing these things without consent. And this, by the way, Hardin filed something with the judge, and he CC'd in both the judges because it was a motion basically outlining how Russell was attempting to defraud the court. And Russell Greer replied to both the district judge and the magistrate judge, saying, "Thanks for the email, Mr. Stalker." So Russell is just outright calling Hardin a stalker, which is the reason why at the beginning of the stream I played this. Because as it turns out, even my attorney is a stalker in this world of litigation, okay? So, Russell says that he is now filing for a restraining order against Hardin. And it appears to be that his gambit is, is that if he can get a restraining order against Hardin, then he will be able to remove Hardin as a lawyer on my case. And therefore, I would have to pay a more expensive attorney that's not personally invested in the case, or just give in, I guess, and give Russell what he wants, which is $300,000. He's increased that number from last time. So that's what he's hoping for. The issue is that if he gets a restraining order in Nevada, which is very unlikely, it's not going to apply in federal court, which has supremacy over a Nevada restraining order. But that's what he's trying to do. That's why I keep saying stalker. And the basis of him calling my attorney a stalker is that my attorney is filing for public records. And that's basically it. However, in the last batch of public records that he uncovered, we found this lovely website called intimatedealings.com. This is what he uses as his email address. And this is his professional portfolio page. We are a multi-area LLC based in Las Vegas. The areas we specialize in are adult technology. And he has a picture of Raspberry Pi called Waste Basket for some reason. Adult real estate. And then there is the Lusty Lady. And that seems to be his areas of specialty. Now we go to properties. And it says our properties coming soon. So no properties on the site. Here's about us. Now someone pointed out that this clip art that he's using for his logo appears to be blatantly lifted from somebody else's website. So that might be copyright infringement, which is very bad. I would always condemn copyright infringement in the harshest possible terms. A very ironic thing to do, though, when you're suing somebody for copyright infringement. Now, down here he explains our story. We are passionate about helping others. We dare to be different. We have a part emphasis on the adult entertainment industry because it's an industry that needs major improvement. We're progressive thinkers who believe there is nothing wrong with sex. We have bold ideas that we want to bring to life. We formed in April 2022. We are headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada, not New Mexico. Important clarification. I don't know if that's a joke or what. We are excited for this wild ride that we are embarking on, and we hope investors can join us. Then he has some social media links down here. They're all to Wix. I don't know if you can see that. Instagram.com/Wix, Facebook.com/Wix, Twitter.com/Wix, LinkedIn/Wix. They're all on Wix, apparently. And there was another funny one, I think. Oh, here we go. We got like a black hand shaking a white hand in the background. Build Better Brothels. Started up in April 2022. We are a young real estate management LLC that has an ambitious goal. Build a luxury brothel resorts and manage them. We're passionate about sex work because we believe consenting adults can doing what they want is a beautiful thing. Wanting sex is natural, and so is wanting money. Wow. However, the existing brothel system is flawed. Our LLC seeks to develop revolutionary brothels that will be luxury resorts for those seeking legal prostitution in a Vegas-esque resort feel. Again, the emphasis is on the legal sex part. We are seeking investors to help fund our brothels that will provide not only a profitable return, but will also be giving consenting adults a clean, safe, fun, and legal place to engage in prostitution and other activities. Invest in us for financial and societal reasons. There is a really funny thing. I can't find it. Hardin sent this to me. And I can... Adult technology. We have a technological model to protect adult entertainers and to make things a little less awkward. Many adult establishments have bouncers and security cameras. They do lack direct in-person preventative protection. That's putting women and other adult entertainers in potentially risky, distressing, and awkward situations. Yeah, that's prostitution, bro. You never know who the fuck's gonna walk through the door and just strangle you to death. Like, yeah. There's a thing where he said in this, by the way. Oh, is this a different thing? We're revolutionizing. So this link is different than the other three links. We're revolutionizing the way brothels operate. Where our business model is BBB, and the context of sex work, that means many things, but to us it means build better brothels. The plan, themed brothel resorts, have a resort-like experience, and then there's like a random like mosque that looks like, I guess that maybe it's like a Shriner thing. And then down here, so here we have, I just want to say, Never become a stock model. This is a Wix stock model that Wix has bought for people to use on their site. Russell Greer went through this and said, this Indian-looking woman is homely and diverse-looking. I will use her as an example of a prostitute that you will be able to buy at my themed resort brothels. He says here, diversity. Lastly, we want to hire more ethnic diverse sex workers. That right there really puts the kibosh on it. The whole thing. That's like the cherry on top. Yes, that will save the Las Vegas prostitution industry. We just need more diverse sex workers. We need to sex traffic women from every part of the world. I'm talking about the darkest Papua New Guinean, the chankiest Chinaman, the most poo-covered Jeet, those tribal women from Brazil that have like the red face paint. We need to bring them to like those old zoos they used to do, where they used to have these human zoos, by the way, where you would take these tribal members from Africa and then erect a teepee in the town, and then you would just have them there, and they would like pretend to do tribal stuff, and then like the white people would gather around and watch these human zoo exhibits. That's it. We're gonna have a rainforest themed brothel, middle of Las Vegas. And we're going to have this woman right here. She looks kind of Brazilian, I guess. You can just put some red face paint on her to make her look ethnic. And then she'll like have her boobies out wearing a loincloth and nothing else. And she'll be pretending to like churn butter or mashing cocoa with a stick in like a pewter cup. And that'll be it. That's the diversity. That is the luxury. That is the theme. That's what Russell Greer wants for your daughters. It's an actual business idea. Someone's going to open a brothel after listening to this, and it's going to be like a brothel in Florida, and it's going to be like a rice field, and you're going to have like topless China women walking around and like picking rice, and you're going to be like, okay, pick your choice, and it'll just be like Carl Jobst over there, and like, ooh, I like how she bends over to pick over the rice. That's very erotic to me as an expert rice burner. So that's his business adventure. He's asking for $5 million of capital. If you can invest $5 million, number one, you should give it to me, not him. But number two, you can invest in the rice fields if you really want to. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that Mr. Greer is very, 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 very upset about is that in filing these public record requests, one of the things that we happen to stumble on is the fact that all town meetings in Nevada happen to be video recorded. And I want to say that this happened exactly after, like one of the things that we have in contention is that he had a hearing with the court, and he was active on his phone throughout the hearing, right? Well, then 1 hour after the court, at the very end of the town meeting, guess who shows up? So I'm pretty sure this is the same day, 15 minutes after the court is adjourned. While he's active on his phone, he shows up in this meeting for a last-second proposal. Now, in here, one of these women is named Betty. Betty is a hero. She's a hard-working city council member in the city of Winnemucca, and she has been dealing with Russell Greer, trying to get her to grant him a brothel for several years now. And she has told Mr. Greer, who is now making great efforts to show up to this meeting in person to pitch his brothel, there is no point coming to our city meeting to pitch this brothel. We're not interested in it. And he does it anyways. He almost skips court. He actually asked to miss court so that he could show up to a meeting that the woman, that Betty, specifically told him, don't show up to this court or show up to this meeting. There's no point. We're not interested in opening a brothel. And in fact, it's actually really ironic because one of the things that we've discovered is that he's asking for land to build a brothel, two of it. One of these empty lots is, that empty lot right there, that is what he wants to buy to build a brothel. And then next to it is a hotel, which I'll explain in a second. there's a law in Nevada that new brothels cannot be made within 400 yards of a church. And as you can see, there's a United Methodist and a Calvary Chapel Church, both of which are within 400 yards of both properties that he's trying to buy to open a new brothel. So even if he did get the land, even if it was district for a brothel, he cannot legally open a new one because they're too close to a church. But he doesn't know that, and he's going to petition them to, number one, basically use eminent domain law to force somebody to sell him that land where the pink proposed brothel is. And if not, he has a very interesting suggestion that somebody in the council takes issue with.
Request to expand the adult entertainment zoning district to include the Stott Shady Court motel property located at 400 West 1st Street, APM number 15-0132-18. State your name.
Somebody did painstakingly go through to subtitle the video, so if you have any issues hearing anybody in this video for any reason, it is subtitled. So I apologize if you're only listening and the audio quality isn't that great, or some people are speaking indistinctly. But if there is anything especially important, I will reiterate it for you.
Yes, my name is Russell Greer. I just want to say that property actually fell through. So I'm no longer proposing that property. I am working with a realtor here, and unfortunately he never showed up. But we have been trying to get a hold of Lance and Donald Dillon. They own the adult entertainment zone, and we've been unsuccessful so far. However, since it's just sitting there, we were proposing to expand the zone. There's a building right next to it. It's on 2nd Street.
Okay, one thing, by the way, the realtor that he's hinting did not show up is a realtor known to all of them. It's a very small town, and they work with him because I think he is a realtor that manages properties that are owned by the city for like housing issues. So he's saying that this very important business guy that he's doing business with that also happens to own one of his companies just so happened to not show up at the town meeting in the town that he lives.
Close to that area, and I don't want to propose it just yet, just because we're still trying to work it out. But I just wanted to just come and just ask the question. We are trying to buy at least one parcel from the buildings, but if the buildings don't want to sell, is the city council open to potentially expanding the zone so other, more competition?
Okay.
Well, you got your agenda item that's pretty narrow, so it's
Our agenda is speaking specifically here, but about expanding the zone, I don't think the council has an appetite for that.
The council doesn't have an appetite for that. That's a very polite way of saying, yeah, we're really not interested in selling our daughters as whores to lithium miners. That's actually kind of fucking disgusting that you're even saying that you even have the fucking audacity to come to my home and say this to my face. Kind of instills an apathetic, anorexic nausea into me, right? I just really can't even fucking stomach what you're saying to me.
Okay. I mean, we do have a zoned area. Granted, there are no current operating brothels there, but I think if we were to go to expand it, the property owner would have to make that request to rezone and things like that. So I think, I don't think bringing this issue in front of the public and the city council level is probably a good thing. We've been without them for several years. I think some of the attitude in our city is we're fine like we are. So
it's so he's trying to be as polite as possible, but as stern as possible, and it is like that kind of like Western politeness that's kind of shining through. Where it's like, these brothels have been shut down for a number of years now, and we're not really interested. And in fact, he even says like it's actually not a good thing you even came here and raised this issue in public. Like Like, how do you even have the temerity to stand here before us and propose this in front of us when?
That's just my opinion.
So what if they do sell one parcel to us? Are you open to that area reopening? If it's already zoned as that, or do you no longer want it?
No, it's zoned for that. That would be a business proposition. That has nothing to do with the city.
Okay.
As long as you comply with whatever requirements are in place.
Such as not building within 400 yards of a church.
It's not a we like it or dislike it. It's whether or not it's allowed per the current laws. That's all it is.
Okay.
And that's a private business decision. That's not a governmental decision.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we have a zone district and we're not looking to expand. That's my opinion.
My opinion is the same thing. As it's there, it's been there, but expanding it, I'm not interested.
All right.
That was a typo. He says, I'm not interested. I'm not going to resist.
One of their phone numbers. So I'm going to try calling them today, see if it'll tell. But I really appreciate your time.
You can't see the speaker is actually on camera. He's to the left at the center of the table on the flat end.
I'm not front of you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
This ends early.
Any other questions? Yeah, we will open up to public comment again.
Does he have more to say?
More question than comment. My name is Brian.
Oh, okay. This is the Kino part. If you thought that other part was Kino, if this is what I think it is, this is actually amazing.
Roger Baylock. I own the owner of Scott Shady Court Motel.
He's the owner of Scott Shady Court Motel. That is right here in Orange, okay? So if you didn't hear what Greer was proposing, he was proposing either that this lot be forced to be sold or that it be expanded, I suppose, to this empty area, or that this area right here, the Shady Motel, be partially redistricted for the brothel in the brothel zone. Because I think the pink area is the actual... Oh, no. That Scott sell him his property. I think the pink area is the actual brothel districting, and that is no longer operational. I think that's in disrepair and ruin. And then the orange is the hotel that is operational but is not a brothel. So this is the owner of that hotel that he attempted to get the council to sell him, talking.
I'm new to Winnebago, but I've dealt with a lot of other governments, and I find it kind of strange that my property can get on the city agenda without me being notified or ask for consent or something, and I'm wondering just how that happened.
Happened because
His voice is pretty raspy. If you're not picking up on what he's saying, Greer asked the city to sell him part of that motel because there's like multiple buildings, and he's like, just sell me this little sliver, just a crumb of brothel from this hotel, like this part right here, and I'll just manage that as a brothel, and the rest will be the hotel. This is the owner of the hotel who just so happened to be in attendance, participating in his local government like a responsible citizen, kindly raising his hand and asking, what the fuck?
That gentleman that was here made a request to see if the city council had any appetite to move the adult entertainment zoning district further that way, that property specifically. So it doesn't have to have your consent for them to have somebody make a request about it. I mean,
Anybody come in and
sure, anybody can make a request on any property. I mean, but I mean, the city obviously, a request of that nature would have to come from the owner in order to effectuate the ultimate zone change.
Like, that request is so like audacious and so insane that the owner is like scared. Like, do you guys just make random arbitrary decisions about other people's shit without even telling them? Is that what you do here? And the council member has to like back off and try to balance this and be like, no, he's just crazy. He's just a crazy person. And he's we don't know who the fuck he is or why he's here, and we hope he goes away. But we don't do that. Obviously, we need your permission.
So he just wanted to know if there was, an appetite for it. That's what he wanted to know. And I talked to you, and I told you. I told you there's probably no appetite, but he acting on his own said, "Oh, I want to know," and so and then he
But after we talked, I informed him that there was no appetite.
Oh my god. Okay, hold up. Hold up. I've heard this word appetite so many fucking times. It's triggering me. Where is this?
And a priest to confess in a Sunday dress. I need to sweat to drink and fight, do enough drugs till I'm not thinking right. I need to.
Sorry, it was triggering me, Chuck.
And that, basically, I thought there was zero chance that this would happen and went amok. And that was, I sent him that email March 26th, and I thought it was a dead issue. And
I think this guy has an appetite for cigars or gravel. He cannot get enough sand and cigarettes, I think. That's why he moved to Nevada, because he can just go outside with a little plastic scoop and just shovel in all the fucking gravel he wants right into his fucking mouth.
All of a sudden, Thursday night, I'm getting calls that I'm on the agenda.
So did I, and my understanding was that he had some kind of an ownership, possibility, something like that. That's what I understood. I mean, he was, less than clear, I guess.
I'm afraid that the speaker was a little less than clear. Oh no! Be careful what you're saying, council member.
I've never met the guy yet. I've exchanged 2 emails with him, and one here's met him.
I don't know that nobody here has met him either. Oh, that's so embarrassing.
I've been notifying myself and the city manager for years.
He's been very persistent.
That's Becky. Becky is piping up. Yeah, he's been pretty consistent, pretty persistent there with his this mysterious stranger with the brothel interest here.
And it's all been through emails, I believe. I've never talked to him. I did try to call him once and never had any success, trying to explain that I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Trying to head it off, but he...
Okay, I just have some plans for my own plans for the area, but so I just kind of curious more how all this happened.
He's rattling right there too, because obviously he doesn't want to get into a fight with the town, and this guy trying to get the town to do shit against his property that he doesn't want has him spooked, and he's just like, hey. I have plans here. I own another lot. I want to develop more business here. If you guys could not fuck with me, that'd be great. And the council's going to probably reassure him after he says this. Like, no, trust me, bro. We don't want anything to fucking do with this. I'm sorry this happened.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other public comments? Anything online?
Okay.
Let's see.
Alrighty. So that's that. One other thing that Useful Mistake found, oddly, is an incident report at the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, which, if you don't know, is the county that Pensacola, Florida resides in. This is a criminal report taken by, appears to be an Officer Sandy Cheeks, right here. You can see that's not a joke. So Sandy Cheeks took this report from an e-filing here. With my old house address by a victim by the name of, appears to be Russell Greer. I think that's, I'm reading that right. So Sandy Cheeks, you can see her signature. It definitely says Sandy Cheeks down there. So this is the incident report. You ready? So this was a report under telephone calls, obscene or harassing report. He tells Ms. Cheeks, for the past year, I've been electronically harassed by a website, Kiwi Farms, that is being run by a man in your jurisdiction. His name is Joshua Moon. Mr. Moon has personally posted things on me onto his site. This is odd because I don't even know him. I live in Utah. He must have came across me because I have been featured on the news for various things. Oh, like what? Like what? What did you do in the news, buddy? His site has gone from mere writing defamatory opinions about me to posting my private information, harassing my places of employment, harassing my family, sending weird boxes to my home, impersonating people, having people harassing phone calls left on my phone. I've had to change my number 3 times because of this. To note, my face is paralyzed. I didn't know that. And I feel he is purposefully harassing me because I was born. I most certainly am not. I'm making fun of you because you show up to places uninvited and attempt to seize property to prostitute out people's children under the guise of safe sex work, bro. While I realize there is a federal law that gives this protection to websites from content hosted by third parties, it seems that he has straddled the protection of the law by actively engaging in activity on his site. He has personally posted private information on me, such as posting a video I took because I was duped into thinking I was talking to a famous celebrity. I'm not sure if he was personally pretending to be this. Oh, fuck you. as if I stooped to notice you. Like I spend my fucking time trying to talk to you. But from what I can tell, he has encouraged and directed and orchestrated harassment against me. To be honest, I've wanted to kill myself because of this harassment. Well, that's sad, Mr. Since all of the users hide behind aliases, Mr. Moon can be the closest one in violation of Florida harassment law whose identity we know of, as he encourages the harassment and has done harassing of me himself. I request that he is charged for electronic harassment. If for some reason your department feels that he is protected by the law, which I strongly believe he has straddled, please stop talking about me straddling things. May I request that officers just ask him to stop, issue him some kind of written warning or something. This whole thing is insane, and I simply want him to stop, whether it be through arrest, civil suit, a visit by an officer. Also, I learned that he was friends with the guy who shot those kids at the New Mexico high school last year, who was also a member of his site. I was not friends with him, but okay. I'm definitely afraid for my wife. His site attracts the worst of the worst, and I feel is guilty of a crime. So nothing came of this, in case you're curious. Sandy Cheeks never visited me, and I never heard about this until years after the fact. Yeah, okay. So that's that. And now we get to the segment that I think most people are interested in. The best part of the streams, obviously, to many, many people.
My heart is like an open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just want to live while I'm alive.
It's time to talk about Ricada and his household of intoxicated children. Let me start this off strong. Things are progressing. In fact, chat, if I may be so bold, 2 more weeks, Kiwi sisters. I am expecting an update at the beginning of June. And if that update is not the body cam footage, I commit to this. I am suing Candy, Ojai County. Every single thing we have received, I don't want to be too, I don't want to say too much because I know that Ricada is paying close attention and is deeply concerned. Developments have happened, which paved the way for the body cam footage to be released. If the body cam footage is not released, then I will sue. So that's it. There is no reason for it not to be released at this point. We've squared away everything, and the only thing holding us back is the sheriff's office actually fucking doing it. If the sheriff's office does not fucking do it, and does not make good on what is basically promised to us at this point, we have no choice but to sue, and we have the eager legal representatives required to handle such a lawsuit. So it's coming, regardless. It's happening for sure. Expect us. So here's what Ricada's been up to. Ricada has had a little bit of a heel turn. So he showed up on Chrissy Meyer's show, I think, dressed in his wife beater, his normal clothes, and he's been sending them sexy pictures of himself. He's like, "Look at me. I'm like a little twig man. I look like a homeless person that does crack. Here I am. Aren't I sexy?" So that's weird. He is married still, from what I understand. I think the cover is over, but he wants to get Chrissy Mayer into it. And she might be down for it. I'm going to be real with you. I think Chrissy is down for it. She seems to like him a lot. So his current endeavor, besides trying to cheat on his wife again, even though the first time didn't go so well, is now to try and blame absolutely everything on his nanny Cheney. If you don't know, for years, Ricada had a nanny that was basically the full-time caregiver of his children while he and his wife fucked around. So let's listen to this minute-long clip.
The former nanny, by the way, that bitch, I've been finding out, she gave my 11-year-old alcohol. She paid, when my daughter had a friend over to stay the night, she paid each of them $75 to chug 2 Monster energy drinks in a row.
What?
Yeah, finding out about this shit has been really nice. But yeah.
Oh,
she stole my liquor like crazy, but I thought it was someone else. And I actually I griped at the person who I thought
Who is that
was,
then? Well, that was Chrissy
drinking
Meyer.
The alcohol. I was like, because I'd come back from like a 2-day trip or whatever, and there'd be like bottles of whiskey missing. Some of these things, are like $150 bottles. So I'd care that they were gone. And I thought it was someone else. And it turns out she would just, I've been finding this out from my kids. Like she would just go up into our bedroom and just pound down liquor sitting in bed. And that's how she was nannying our children. So it's been nice to learn about. I might report her to the police. I don't know.
So he's trying to say that the absolute state of disrepair that his household was in is entirely the fault of his evil, lazy nanny. But let's take a listen to what he said in the past when she quit her job in 2004, right before he got arrested.
Is there any reason why the nanny left? I don't, because we've never talked about that. Like, you've never told me why you had one.
This is after he got arrested, I think.
It's really fuzzy. I'll say yes. Obviously, there's a reason that the nanny left. And we got one story from her, and I don't think that story was honest. Right. Because I've seen some other information about it, and I don't want to put her on blast in any way. Like it just happened. So it was sudden and kind of devastating for us. But hey, it is what it is, and you don't really get to object to the I object. You have to stay. No, I mean that someone quits their job, they quit their job. No, I mean that someone quits their job, they quit their job. Why did you let the nanny continue to be the nanny if you found out she was drunk while watching the kids? All of this stuff happened within a week. It was really fast. I don't know, how you fire someone faster, and you don't really get to object to the I object. You have to stay. You have to stay. But it was crazy.
So lying liar Nick Ricada is trying to shift the blame of everything on the nanny. This is a 10-minute clip. I can't play it. I will summarize it. He alleges 2 different major incidents. 3, actually. This is the number one. She was a lush, an alcoholic, and she would steal whiskey from him all the time. Now, Ricada was probably drinking a 5th of alcohol every night. At least 1. And probably more if you combine the alcohol usage of other people in the house. I don't think he had the capacity, the mental capacity, to do inventory, to calculate any kind of loss of alcohol in his home, because he just drinks it too fast. I'm sure it would be possible to parade through his home and pick up any number of alcohol bottles, and he would never even notice. Ask me how I know. The other thing that's preposterous is that he is angry at her for apparently making a bet with his daughter and one of her friends that they could chug a Monster Energy. Come the fuck on. If I'll say this, maybe as a parent you have a right to be unhappy about that. The other thing that she did apparently was that she gave his child, the same daughter, alcohol. Now that's terrible. A woman, a hired employee, should never give your children alcohol, even if it's, as he says, a sip of White Claw, a 5% alcoholic beverage. I will say this: in Germany, I'm aware of, there is no drinking age, so it is completely within your right to give a child a sip of beer in Germany, in particular. Now, I know he doesn't like those Scandinavian or Germanic prudes and their alcoholic tendencies, but that's what he's angry about. This is the same daughter. Now, I'll grant you, you have a right to be upset that your nanny is giving your children caffeine or sips of alcohol that you don't approve of, especially if you didn't talk about it before. You can be angry about that. This is the same child that tested positive for cocaine, and he is hinting that she gave her cocaine. There's a 0% chance that that is how she got exposed to cocaine. In the Ricada household, at the time that he was arrested, there was drugs in plain view of the door. You could easily find cocaine in that household within minutes of entering it as a stranger. That is how abundant drugs and alcohol were in Ricada's house. So the idea that his nanny was the one that was giving her cocaine or letting her drink, if his daughter is a teetotaler, which is like what it seems to be, she could find whiskey and drugs or prescription medication in arm's reach easily at any time that she wanted to, and it's not the fucking nanny's fault. I'll tell you what he's actually doing. He says in this, by the way, that he contacted her new employer to try and slander her and say that she was like an alcoholic that gives drugs to kids. So she's trying to ruin. He's trying to ruin her life. He's giving out her name. He's helping people find out who she is, and then he's saying, "Well, don't harass her, obviously, but I did report her to her new employer." So he's trying to ruin her life and blame everything squarely on her. And you might think, "Wow, that's incredibly cruel, petty, vindictive, stupid. Why would he do that? Why is he lashing out at the nanny?" And I can tell you, here's what my theory is, and I guarantee you I'm fucking right. He's angry at the nanny because she quit months before he was arrested. So for years, and he goes on to talk about how well she was treated, how she had a $30,000 or $3,000 a month grocery budget to buy her, while she's out shopping for them and taking care of the kids, she can buy her something nice. She can get a Big Mac at Burger King with the money that he gave her for groceries. When she's feeding his children for him, she can treat herself to a little 8-piece chicken McNugget on the side because he's such a great guy, such a great boss, and he's paying her $50,000 a year. That's just below average for Minnesota. She's making less than the median income for the state of Minnesota. That's really nice of him. He's paying her so well to be a full-time caregiver to his 5 fucking children. And he even lets her drink sometimes and even lets her eat chicken McNuggets with his money. He's just such a nice guy. So after years and years of this shit, she quit. And I bet you that going from having zero responsibility, not having to do shit for your fucking kids, not having to clean up your own fucking mess, not having to clean up your own kids' fucking mess, not having to do anything for them, to being at the bottom of your life, a full-blown fucking addict, an alcoholic, and suddenly having to have going from 0 to 100% full responsibility of 5 kids, made him completely destroyed his good times and completely destroyed his life because he had this lifestyle that he was living. And I bet you that he's so pissed because he got reported by his church, and he's still angry at his church, by the way, for reporting him, because they saw him DUI. He dropped off his kids at church drunk, and they saw that and they reported it to the police. And in his mind, if that fucking cunt nanny, alcoholic, child abuser nanny didn't quit when she did, he wouldn't have had to drive DUI. So it's her fault. It's her fault that he drove DUI because she quit, and that was just the worst thing that anyone had ever done to her. I bet you that's it. And he's really fucking pissed. And when the body footage comes out, she's going to be completely vindicated because he could not manage his household. You had 3 adults living in that house. You had a married couple and a fuck buddy that lived at that house. And the combined power of them could not keep that house clean. And he better spin this narrative as hard as he fucking can because he's going to look like a fucking retard soon. There is another clip I don't have. Where, actually, no, it's on the illicit clips.
What is your theory with the situation with Josh and trying to get a hold of this body cam footage? Like, where do you stand with all that? Like, good luck, or you said it was pretty difficult to get, right? Or
well, I mean, it's classified or it's categorized as private data. The government is not supposed to release it to anybody but me. if you want to, or me or anyone else in the, inside the video. If you want to challenge that, like if you believe that there should be public access to it, you have to serve everybody who's the subject of the video, which has not been done at present. You have to serve them with notice, and then you have to, tell the court as to why it should be public. I think it's a hard sell to the court because, the claim by the state is that they searched my house and found cocaine. I pled guilty to that.
Right.
So whatever public interest there is, I can't find. Typically, public interest is about, someone says that the hands were up and, when the shots were fired type stuff.
Right.
Or some sort of violent encounter with
Contested.
police. Right. It's not typically the inside of someone's home. Those not usually considered public things.
Right.
Or that there's a public interest in it. So I don't know, but he
Here.
seems very, very confident in it.
That frustrates him. Why is he so confident? I'm not the kind to bluster, chat. I don't like to be wrong. So I try not to say things that are going to make me look like a retard. So he's thinking, why is he so confident? So then he rattles off what would be the most obvious thing, right?
So in theory, I guess if he convinced April to sign a release and say she was okay with the release of it, they would have to redact out everybody else in the video, but they might she could do that. I have no idea. I haven't spoken with her in a while.
If he says that, and he has to say that because publicly he's trying to maintain that he's not having a relationship with April, even though she moved down the street from him. So he has to say that, but he knows that's not it. So he continues to pontificate on what else it could be. And with the line being that it has to be April, that I am positing that April has given me consent to receive the footage, he posits the next thing that would be the most obvious conclusion based off of that, knowing that April hasn't done that.
And maybe I made her mad or something. Who knows? But that, or they're trying to get me to preempt them since they know I have it and trying to get me to release it or something. But I don't know.
He thinks that there's no way I can get it and that the only way I can get it is through April. But he knows that April hasn't consented because he's still on good terms with April because he sees her because she lives right next to him. So then the obvious thing then would be I'm bluffing and I'm trying to get him to release it because when I do have it, I'm going to have a fucking field day and we're going to have a lot of fun. So he's thinking maybe that I'm trying to play off his OCD to get him to release it before I release it, to take the wind out of my sails, because that's something that he would actually do because he's a vindictive, petty, OCD fucking freak, right? So he's thinking 4 steps ahead, trying to figure out what like calculating the shit out in the in his brain to figure out what it is, and then he gets angry because he's thinking that can't be it either because Josh isn't going to do that. So maybe it's the state and they're conspiring against me yet again.
I have no idea. If they serve me, I guess then we'll determine if I'm going to fight it or not. And if he gets it some other way, that'd be really interesting because that'd be a criminal act by the state.
Well, okay, that leads me sort of to my next question with the Minnesota Public Records ghost that we have. It's
so the state's conspiring against. That's what's going on with Ricada. He's trying to figure it out. I don't want to hold his hand, but the damage is already done. I'll put it that way. Obviously, I would like the actual footage, and I will do everything in my power to get the footage. But the foot's in the door. I already have something, and if all else fails, there's no walking it back. It's done. Next, talking about alcoholics, drug addicts, chat, we got Ethan Ralph. There's even an urgent Ethan Ralph update. This was him last Friday, enjoying a nice little Pillarino. You see that he just puts it on his tongue, elegantly teasing the camera with his pill, having a little Xanny bar, having a 5-bar day, as they say. This is him dancing, enjoying life in the way that we could never even possibly fucking imagine, Chip. Uh-oh. Especially me. I could never imagine. Okay. Downloading it on a different browser so I can put it in the one that doesn't fucking connect to the fucking internet for some reason. Downloading it at a blazing fast 300 kilobits per second, chat. It's a 5 megabyte video. It's going to take me about as much as it took to download a song and over dial-up. All right. There we go. Levels of euphoria never previously seen. Someone made this, by the way. Yam made this. She's done art. I like this. Look at this. Isn't this cute? I got the pig monster with the kid diddler hat, and he's just wooing the slobber mutt. Just such romance. We go together like ham and cheese. And you can see those little pills all over the floor, little alcohol bottles. Now this is the kind of fan art that internet culture is made off of. Really wonderful. Then the breaking news, okay, for Ethan Ralph is this. He attempted to cross from Tijuana into the United States of America, and according to him, he took out his phone, and despite not being allowed to use his phone by our Customs and Border Patrol, he was able to eke out an SOS to the internet. He says, just took the red eye from Merida to CDMX last night so I could get to TJ super early. Detained at the CBX, which is the Border Patrol Express lane. I don't know if it's from Cali or New York. I'm not supposed to use your phone at Customs, but I don't give a fuck. Sneaking this one. You'll probably know me before me what it is. Hope to be released today. Legit evil. Won't be able to tweet again. Ovs. I don't think has he been heard from ever since? Has he gone radio silent on us? Ethan Ralph. Thing? Is it Ethan Ralph? What the fuck is it? D Ralph retort. No, radio silent. Radio silent chat. No messages. No messages at all. Just gone. Like tears in the rain. Will Ralph be okay? Will he survive? We'll see, chat. I think there was a video that somebody wanted me to play about Ethan Ralph. Do I have that? I did not. Someone posted it, but I don't feel like it. I want to be real with you. I got. Oh wait. Oh, I have it. I do have it. Okay, hold up. I'll play through it. All right. So this is the post by the Rationals. So he wants me to skip to 26. This is apparently Ralph arguing with a phantom again. I think Jared Taylor has like a voice synthesizer AI thing for his super chats. So he has the opportunity to like argue with himself. So someone's super chatting him as Jared Taylor with his Jared Taylor voice, and Ralph is hallucinating that's the real person because he's so fucked up.
How many white children do you have, motherfucker? How many white fucking children do you have, motherfucker?
There are these two young
How many? Tell me how many. How many white children do you fucking...
Oh, okay, I remember more clearly now. It's not an AI voice. Or if it is, it's not a part of his super chat system. Someone super chatted him as Jared Taylor and played a YouTube clip of him giving some kind of weird speech about fish in the river or whatever. Ralph doesn't understand that his super chat system will automatically play YouTube videos as audio if someone pays money for it. So he hears Jared Taylor giving the soliloquy about fish, and he assumes that he's having a live discussion with Jared Taylor because he's so fucked up on pills and booze. So he begins to talk over an IBS rant at Jared Taylor, not realizing that it's simply an audio recording.
Tell me right now. Tell me right now. How many white children do you fucking have? No, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. How many white children do you have? Fuck you. Fuck your goddamn AI voice. Suck a dick. How many white children do you fucking have, cocksucker? How many white children do you have, mother Motherfucker. How many white children do you have? Eat a dick and choke to death on it, you fucking Jap-loving son of a bitch. Tell me how many white children do you have? You lived in Japan because you're a fucking cocksucker. Tell me how many white children you fucking have. Tell me right now. Tell me right now, bitch.
Of course, the main requirement.
He doesn't even realize. Okay, so 148. Oh wait, we're already there.
Tell me right now, bitch. Hey, bitch. Hey, bitch. Hey, bitch. Bitch, bitch, no, 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 no. Bitch, hey, bitch, hey, bitch. How many white children do you have? Bitch, hey, bitch, hey, bitch. How many white children do you have?
You got him on the wrong.
White
He's being beaten down.
How many do you have? I have 2, and I guarantee you it's 2 more than you. You fucking motherfucker. Tell me how many white children you fucking have, motherfucker.
Oh, we're already at the next part too.
Tell me right now, piece of shit, cocksucking son of a bitch.
But I'm gonna
burn in hell and die in hell, and you ain't worth shit. Nah, you ain't significant. You ain't nothing. EMJ punch you out. Eat a dick. Eat a dick. Nah, you got punked out. No, tell me how many white children do you have? How many white children do you have?
Of the totally obvious.
How many white children do you have?
Here's another didactic little story.
No, didactic can suck my didactic dick. Is what you do.
Wonderful. 413. Okay.
Belief templates and 2 different ways of constructing meaning from experience. Because we
run the bullet through your fucking goddamn brain would be my advice. Fuck you, nigger. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Who the fuck? Do you think you can holler over me? You cocksucking son of a bitch. Fuck you, nigger. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You're not talking to me. You're not gonna fucking talk over me. You're a fucking loser. EMJ owns you. You're a fucking cocksucker. Sucking son of a bitch, and I hope you burn in hell. How about that? How about that? I hope you burn in hell. I hope you burn in hell. What do you think about that?
Plus, there's the matter of arrogance.
No arrogance. You're gonna burn in hell. I mean, I'm just telling you, you're going to burn in hell.
643. Okay. He's still going. This is the longest clip.
Hey, fag, end your speech. It's over. It's over.
On your TV or your monitor.
Yeah, it's right. It's mine. Yeah, I control this.
Have to be communicated.
You're a fucking loser.
But your own are so immediate, urgent, real. Please don't worry that I'm getting ready to lecture you about compassion or other directedness or all the so-called virtues. This is not a matter of virtue. It's a matter of my choosing to do the work of somehow altering or getting free of my natural hardwired default setting, which is to be deeply...
Does Ruff really think that this guy is like saving all this for him? Like he just wrote all this just for him?
And literally self-centered.
You have to get fucked up the ass by Japanese males. That's your default setting. How many times have you gotten fucked up the ass by Japanese males? I want to know. How many times have you gotten fucked up the ass by Japanese males?
Triumphant academic setting here, an obvious
you got fucked up the ass by Japanese males and you know it. Tell the truth. You got fucked up the ass. Tell the truth, fucker. Now, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about your education. I'll take your education and I'll stab it up your ass like the Japanese males did their dick. You know what? I don't give a fuck about you or anybody else. So fuck you.
It's kind of like a dog. You know how like dogs on a greyhound track will chase after the rabbit on a rail? It's like that. You can just give Ralph like a little chase toy, and he'll be like off on his paces for half an hour.
Dude, people think you're like so smart. You're actually the dumbest motherfucker I've ever talked to in my. You are the dumbest motherfucker I've ever talked to in my life.
That may sound like hyperbole.
No, it's not. It's true. I'm not being hyperbolic at all. No. You know what? Hang up, faggot, before you get embarrassed more. Like, seriously.
There happen to be whole large parts of adult
People are laughing at him.
nobody talks about in
Now he's upset.
Okay, nobody gives a fuck.
He's like upset because he can hear people laughing in the background. He thinks that's people laughing at him.
One such part involves boredom, routine, and petty frustration.
Okay.
The
Well,
parents and
you know
older folks here
what?
will know all too
Take
well
the
what I'm talking
gun,
about.
put it to your fucking brain,
By way
and
of
blow it
example,
out.
let's
Like,
say it's
I
an
don't.
average
Okay, one more.
maneuver your
Fuck
junkie cart through
all
tires,
of
hurry,
you. How about that?
et cetera, cutting stuff out because it's a long ceremony, and eventually you get all your supper supplies, except now it turns out there aren't enough checkout lanes open, even though it's the end of
Oh,
the day
what?
rush.
Are you in
So the
Japan?
checkout line
Like,
is
you think I
incredibly
give a
long,
fuck
which
what
is
those
stupid
niggers in
and
Japan
infuriating.
think about me?
But you can't
Like,
take your frustration out on the frantic
do you
lady
think I
working
give
the
a fuck
register
about what
who's overworked at a job
Japan
whose daily
niggers think
tedium
about
and
me? Like,
meaninglessness
I don't give a
surpasses the
fuck.
imagination
Okay,
of any of us
stay in
here at
Japan,
prestigious college.
nigger. Hey,
But
nigger.
anyway, you
Hey,
finally get to
nigger.
the checkout
Hey,
line
hey,
first
white
and
nigger.
pay for
Hey,
your
hey,
food.
white
Told
nigger.
you
Stay in
have a
Japan.
nice day
Hey, hey,
in a
white
voice that is
nigger.
the
Stay in
absolute voice of
Japan.
death.
White nigger. Stay in Japan.
Take the creepy,
White
flimsy plastic bags of
nigger.
groceries
Stay in
your car
Japan.
I'm using the N-word, and yet my adversary is not crumpling, and everyone's laughing at me still.
One crazy
White nigger. Stay in Japan.
I gotta say it louder now.
White
slow,
You are not welcome back in Western society, cocksucker.
Oh, there it ends, and he wins. He declares victory. Okay. Well, that was loud and annoying. Let's get back to our boy. Bossman Jack. Bossman Jack now has a second warrant out for him. This time it is for violating his parole from the, or probation from the original thing that he got arrested for like lifting cars way back when. He now has 2 outstanding warrants, is considered a fugitive from justice. He thought that things were going to be okay because he went to his parole officer and didn't get arrested. But now I think he probably failed his piss test, so they probably put out another warrant up for him, and even though they didn't arrest him at the scene. Anyways, pussy, here's him winning $10,000 and losing it all in a minute, chat.
There you go, boys. There you go. Let that pussy pop. Oh, my God. 10K incoming.
Just need a little hit.
10K. Here comes 10K.
A little gamba sess real quick, chat. Just a minute of gamba sess, chat.
Oh, my God. Hit the fucking high risk, please. Oh, my God, guys. Dude.
Yeah, he's super high on crack. You can hear him do the like where he sucks in air really sharp when he's trying to like when he's like on a high.
God.
That's the crack. So he's like on crack while he's got 2. He's got.
Oh, that's a scam, dude.
At this moment, he's got 2 warrants out for him, and he's on crack doing the crack jaw thing on live.
My high risk hasn't hit one fucking time. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm your fucking dude. Oh my.
This is, by the way, the clearest he has ever said, "I'm going to fuck a dude." He says it twice.
My fucking God. Oh my fucking God, bro. Oh my fucking God. High risk, it just loses every time. Loses every fucking time on high risk. I lose every fucking one on high risk. I'm a fucking dude. Oh.
I'm going to fuck a dude. He says it clear as fucking crystal, chat.
Oh my fucking God, bro. Oh my fucking God, bro. Oh my fucking God, bro.
Anyways, I don't know what happened. He lost something. You can see he's not in a good mood. He knows he's going back to jail, so he's just gamba seshing and doing as much crack as he can possibly do. And then I won't have to talk about him for another year or 5 years or whatever, chat. So fucking give me my Bossman Jack. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Because I gotta, just like Bossman Jack doing a bunch of crack right before he goes back to jail. I gotta do a bunch of Bossman crack right before he goes back to jail. Because then I got 5 years sober. Okay. So this is him playing, and it's 11-second clip. Okay, let me give you some background. He's playing a game, right? He loses, if you can believe that, and then he becomes so angry, he snaps into German, and starts yelling in German, but he doesn't just yell in German. He yells out a very specific old Germanic name, chat. Don't you dare. Ah, fuck. Okay, hold up. I have to download. I can't believe I hyped it all up. I got so excited. I even preloaded this fucking video. The video is fucking preloaded, and it still doesn't want to fucking play. What is even the point? What is even the point of using the fucking internet, show?
Oh, my Schneider! Schneider! Schneider!
One more time.
Oh, my Schneider! Schneider! Schneider!
The way he looks at the camera, too. So... this is the look of a haggard man. This is a haggard man calling out for the only person that can possibly help him.
Schneider!
Just amazing. The final words before Bossman Jack is buried alive by the state of Virginia. Tragic chat, tragic, true tragedy. And then I do have a Reddit segment. I think here. Yeah. All right. This is an R therapist from Glitter Bless asking, working with grief, shame, anger with polyamorous men. Hi, folks. Looking for feedback from other therapists who work with ethical, non-monogamous / poly folks. I have several men on my caseload who are in polyamorous relationships who are navigating deep anger, sense of betrayal, and shame around not feeling sexually active enough in their teens and 20s. They have a lot of sexual anxiety about not being with enough partners, desire to be attractive to people, and a sense of betrayal at early relationships. These men have been in long-term relationships with their first sexual partners, and later in life have either divorced or have had their relationships or have opened their relationships to overcome feeling like they haven't had enough sex. They continue to feel burning anger and resentment at their early life, despite having fruitful relationships in the present. For the context, I'm a cis woman with ENM, ethical non-monogamy experience myself. I often hold this struggle in the lens of weight, of expectation, of patriarchal masculinity, similar to the frustrations and betrayal that men feel in incel culture. I see shame as an underlying factor in their anxiety as well as disowned grief. I'm looking to see how others frame this long-term resentment, frustration, and pain with their male clients. I'm really curious if others have resources that you could use in conceptualizing folks you might see who hold a similar pattern. In regards to treatment planning, my efforts have been connecting to self-compassion and grounding through somatic IFS and doing some EMDR work on early targets of rejection. I'm curious about how others approach their work. I'm really open to a variety of viewpoints. What has been helpful for you in supporting these clients? What helps you resolve the stuck sense of pain, frustration, and anger? Thank you. Sounds like an archetype, huh? Sounds like Ricada, doesn't it? I got married at 19 and then had 5 kids. Sure, my career was successful. Sure, I'm educated. Sure, I'm well off. Sure, I've had a successful monogamous relationship for like 20 fucking years. But I didn't smash enough box when I was 16, so I guess I might as well fuck up my whole life right now. If only he had met this ethical, non-monogamous expert cis woman as a therapist, who would have told him that I guess everything's okay. Because why not? She's into it herself. Maybe she can join the polycule. Maybe that would have been better to have a therapist instead of like a crack hoe as the third wheel. So that's your moment. That's something to chew on, chat. Why do these men with successful relationships need to feel the need to impress people by opening up their relation? Like Ricada, the true psychological question of our time. And on that note, chat. Let us do super berries. Or my voice dies. Does this work today? Yes, it does. Eric George for 10 says, Sneed the bower, Sneed the farmer. No, don't do that. Save the bower, save the farmer, chat. Finkel Dinglestein for 10 says, oh no, my Oshi, and there's a Catbox file. I'm not putting this on screen, bro. Thank you. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator for 10 says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, excuse me, sir, there appears to be a neighbor in my live-action anime adaptation. Why is there a neighbor in my live-action anime adaptation? Interrobang, sir. And then there's a link to Catbox again. And then there is some anime shit. So this is the new live-action, I assume, by Netflix. And you can see here, what is this? I don't even recognize it. The only weakness here is this Persona. There's only one character. I only recognize Haru. Is that Haru? That's not Haru. I don't know what this is. The only weakling here is you, and then you can see it used to be a chinky lady, and now it is a fat black woman. I think. Fascinating. There's a black man, so this guy is now black. Okay, his hair. This guy's hair does not match at all. At all, chat. I don't know, bro. Sucks to be Japanese, I guess. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Master for 575 says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, get hyped for the anime of the decade, Gachiakuta, after Dan Da Dan was a Dan Da disappointment. Anime fans have been clamoring for the next hotness to blow their minds. And this July, it finally arrives. Watch on your favorite bootleg site. I wonder if this... He sends these like days apart, and I'm reading them in reverse order. So on May 19th at 3:47 p.m., he sent me $5 to talk about Gachiakuta. And then 3 days later at 8 p.m., he sends me a message demanding to know why his animes have black people in it. So if I'm putting two and two together here, I'm going to say that he was waiting for the trailer, and then the trailer came out for his anime that he was very hyped about 3 days prior, and now his entire life is ruined, basically. This is what I'm taking away from the assumption of the progression of these things. Fintard for 235 says, you have intruded on my sauna times again, you fagot. I'm sorry once again to have injured you so. Monero Monkey for 2374 says, no, Sneeder Child, you are not alone. Enjoy being stalked. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I didn't know it was Sneed though. Thank you. Sneed for 589 says, got my degree, time for big bucks. And then there is a Catbox file to a video. Very eager for this video.
Who are you people?
Oh.
What do you want from me?
Oh, I already played this? No, you posted this in the Maddie thread.
Who are you people? What do you want from me?
Look, there's nothing wrong with working for Lock Sneed Sharton, okay? That is American exceptionalism through and through. Monero Monkey for 3 says, early and straight, it's good to be white. That's true. Don't take my kidneys for 5 says TNRD. Oh, I think I agree. Lacune, everyone says, just 2 more weeks, chat. Never been truer. Real Adonai for $20 says, hey Josh, here's a clip you might like. I have paid the appropriate anime toll. $20 is not a fucking anime toll. You gotta do like I think I said $1,000 an hour, right? I've seen this before.
We like the same things. That makes you want a boss. This is a safe place. You don't have to pretend to be something you're not anymore. Yes, it's a free country where you can be yourself. Now, put on this dress.
Wow. I don't know if that's like dubbed or what, like fake dubbed. That's pretty accurate though. Thank you. Always Mr. No for 10 says, Anu Chiki Briki of Damka and lollies are pedophiles. Base super chat. Thank you. TB Deluxe for 5 says, the Ralph occurs last week. Ethan threatens Josh. 1 week later, one of them doubles his fundraising goal and the other is currently detained at the border. Suffer, Ralph. After he told me I had to hide from the policia because I was going to jail. I can't believe it. Drewby82 for 2 says, morning, Josh. Did you know that GrayJ now works on browser? Hopefully that helps with your YouTube issues. I have it on my phone. I haven't used it in a while though. I forget what it's for. It's like a way to find people across different platforms. I need a network with Louis Rossman. He's getting chudly enough. He might actually talk to me. Asian tech support for $20 says, I hate Indians so fucking much. Very relatable, especially from a tech support guy. Thank you. Bunker Housing for 5 says, time to consume content. Also, what would you do if you were incarcerated by ICE? Presumably ask for an attorney. Euglistine for 5 says, Joshua Connor Moon, the copyright criminal. It's true. My thoughts are nothing but crimes. Burma for 10 says, read this post as broken English as possible by a Spaniard and it becomes incredibly funny. Mad at the British. With joy he shuts gates to farm with British law excuse. No love lost to Britain. No Anglophile or Anglo nostalgia. Torch Porter then he drank anti-Britain cup from revolutionary store of liberty provided by government. This is your own message. So you're so proud of your drunk messages on the Kiwi Farms. You've asked me to read them. I guess I could make a living by reading posts on the Kiwi Farms. That would be a novel concept for a podcast, right? Thank you. Octavia Sales Rep for 10 says, sweet free range emailing ASMR. Very true. So I'm going to break out the luxury keyboard one of these days once I have it built, and we're going to do some ASMR typing. Me replying to DMCA ASMR. Call for 10 says, Japanese shit. Pippa Pipkin's pedo whistle is pronounced as woa, as People's Popular Press would say it, not uh-oh. Cool, bro. I'm happy to learn more Japanese. The Ice Cream Man for 5 says, honestly, bud, your mispronunciation and unfamiliarity with English is in general is part of your charm. Well, I've learned most of my language from reading it. That's my issue. Chloe Dante for 20 says, the literary praises of Dante's Inferno are a little hyperbolic, though I agree it's the best in niche genre. I know how to say niche, okay? Now I'm obstinate. I have to obstinately mispronounce everything. Thank you. Space Allen for 50 says, ham jam, but I still have not fixed it, so I'm making him suffer for no reason. Thank you. Johnny Dodarius for 5 says, great stream and even better streamer. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Awaken 34 for 1 says, what's interesting about the marathon thing people don't acknowledge is that the only time marathon, and this is the name, the game is purely made to keep the IP and nothing else. Yeah, that's how it usually goes. Humble Guardsman for 3 says, Super Earth is under lockdown, under siege. Freedom hating illuminates here to fuck democratic helldiver butts. I saw the update. Apparently now the Helldivers are in cities and it's a defensive war. The Ice Cream Man for $250 says, once again, it's time for a trade. I provide 5 fresh, clean, digital Kaylas. You enjoy guinea pig pictures, stalker child. And then there is a link. I have absolutely no choice but to open this. And it is, in fact, a picture of a guinea pig. It's a very high quality pig. This is the cleanest guinea pig I've ever seen. They usually stink. They have matted fur. But this is a pretty clean guinea pig. I don't know how you keep this guinea pig because it's so impressive. Thank you. Very much, by the way. Sneed and Feeding for once says, saw your quarter pounder coffee review. It would be great shame if there were brown hands under the gloves. You could see my wrist, bro. Porglac for once says, hey Josh, it's me, John Mastercard. I don't know what your problem with me is. Why you gotta pick lollies over me? Love the show regardless. Don't try to do any banking though. No, child, I will bank. Sneedo for once says, a Ford Excursion with a 7.3 Power Stroke diesel can survive. Okay, Country Boys can survive. Ford Excursions can survive. Wallbanger Forever for 5 says, I'm from Ontario. One of my friends was killed and the guy only got 5 years. The argument was he couldn't have known stabbing him would have actually killed him. It happens all the time. There's no way to know that driving a metal blade through somebody's heart will actually end their life. Can't expect black people to know anything. Pancake Luchador for 5 says, is it possible that love can bloom on Twitter? No. Have a good one. And have you had any banana peppers yet since you're here in the US? Yes, I have. I have like an entire jar of them in my fridge. I don't know. I assume that love can happen anywhere, even a battlefield. Never Not Fishing for 2 says, Luke from the Outdoor Boys taught me to fish, and because of him, I'm never not fishing. 07 King. That's pretty base. That's a humble origin story. Appreciate that. The Ice Cream Man for 10 says, no, Tommy meant 9/11. He's suing the entire event and he never forgot. That's nice. It never forget. I did promise never to forget, so I don't know who you're suing, though. I guess the city of New York for putting up that ugly fucking building in its place. Ace of Spades for 10 says, Tommy should go for Final Solutions LLC. It knows how to deal with things. It's true. It definitely does. No, unfortunately, it provided no final solutions to anything. Dante for 20 says, it's tragic that Tommy will be unable to pursue justice for the class of 10,000 Jewish intersex genderqueer human rights activists, amateur gim cutters in the Tucson area. It's true. His knowledge, his wealth of wisdom has been lost to the younger generation. Laughing Hyena for 20 says, the Jew tranny Jules reminded me of this classic animation. And there's a YouTube.
Son, come close to me. I want to tell you something.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, what is it, Dad? Tell me.
I want to tell you that for all these years, that the secret to my life is this jewel. So don't touch it. Because if you touch it, I will die. So don't touch it. I just wanted to tell you that.
All right.
Oh.
I don't get it. Why would he die from him touching it? I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. Portlack for one says, John massacred again. It's free legal advice considering teaching your Sneasel TM213 for the case in order to prep any witnesses you may have. Searching TM213 brings up nothing. No idea what to do. Haramburger for 2 says, yep, I sell propulsion and propulsion accessories. Hank Haram. Red Eyes Black Dragon for 2 says, didn't Tommy Tutor interact with Virgo Rose or whatever her name is? I think he's interacted with a lot of people with threads on the site. Haramburger produces, Tommy didn't give a dog sexual noogies. It was named Noogies. Also, Noogies was half Jewish, half Native American, so not a minor in dog ears. Good to know. It's still bestiality, though. David S877 for 25 says, thanks for the bonus funny content and some threads this week. Hope you're doing well despite dealing with the retards. I'm doing very well. Cold Call for 1 says, you should demand all DMCA notices also be sent to you by paper mail so that you can burn all the letters to heat your home year-round for free. I have no such authority to ask for that. Awaken 34 for 1 says, so might jumping the gun here, but the reason Pizzacake Comics is hitting you is because of a guy called Based of True making a video on her. He found the kiwi farms after just being a Reddit tuber. Could be. It's possible. He's barking up the wrong tree, though. Awaken 34 for 5 says, do you plan on playing a game called Kingmakers when it comes out? Apparently the release date is this 27th. No, I don't think so. I do intend to play the Doom mod that people made for the forum after the Gibson Go stuff settles. They're working on it right now, supposedly, so we'll see how that goes. And then I'll play the Doom mod. Steendo for 1 says, I'm in love with the Nitrous Ricada song. Detraback for 20 says, Nitrous neighbors win again. They say winning. You can't keep them down. They got the good stuff. They got the galaxy gas, keeping them high. No Hurt Mr. Metal for 5 says, here's some money, Josh. Thanks for the Kiwi Farms meme. Thank you. Holy Dante for 20 says, you're talking about Hassan Piker's anti-Semitism. What is the most salient and important element of his identity to mention? Of course, he is a gamer. That's true. You look at him, you look at his sweaty face, his weird bussin' hair, his stupid fucking glasses, and you think, yeah, this guy's a fucking gamer. Anonymous for 5 says, do you think DMCA responses would be worth automating or no? Maybe I can't automate the response. I have to explain in meticulous detail every single time why it's fair use. One case by case. They can automate it. There's no penalty for automating it. There's no case law for suing somebody for automating it, for getting things wrong, for knowing better, for misrepresenting claims. It's extremely expensive to sue somebody under that statute. But you're free to do it, and I have to respond and take it seriously. Dark Western for 5 says, Josh, where's the Honey Boo Boo updates you promised a couple years back? I haven't seen Honey Boo. I think I tried to watch like their sequel show and it sucked ass. Awaken 34 for 2 says, also, I just want to mention that Tim Pool lost a lawsuit to a porn game called Subverse and it almost killed his career. Unfortunately, he managed to skitter away. I was not aware of that. Diaz Milo La Cultura for 1 says, Buenos dias, Josh. Fuck you. Sino for 1 says, blame the Puerto Ricans in New York. I will blame all Mexicans everywhere. Awaken34 for 10 says, also the demon Styx worships is actually just a cartoon character from a show called Hell of a Boss. This is a gay relationship with another demon, so enjoy that tidbit of retard knowledge. I don't think I will. Styx is a proper fucking Mongol. Thank you. Rich White Pasta for 10 says, you fight on, Josh. That I do. Spingle Cat for 1 says, Idaho is already the gem state. Also, stop calling Idaho a serial killer hub. There's more serial killers in California and other states. Bro, so many people die in that fucking weird panhandle of Idaho. There's so many weird, like, mass murder, rape, murder things happening. Insensitive Zero for 5 says, when minorities call whites artistically illiterate, they mean you don't randomly break out in song when they respond to questions. It's true. They're so full of soul. Awaken for 2 says, stuff like the Smash Bros. Insanity is why I chose to play single player. Home multiplayer gets burned at the stake. Awaken for 2 says, also the Smash Bros. Player up with the other Minecraft and total grooming and pedo scandals. Yeah, it is. Awaken for 1 says, it's saying they put your hack slip in the eulogy video. It wasn't a eulogy video. It's just his response. Logistical Nightmare for 20 says, buck breaking that zip is peak Maddie, and it's a definite must watch for any Maddie enjoyer. Bald black men complaining about reclaiming hair, glorious. It's true. It's one of the best videos ever made on the internet as a whole, actually. Thank you. Cruising for 10 says, hi, Josh. Hello. Thank you very much. Pirated Mike for 20 for 10 says, love your coffee review. Went to a Turk Roach restaurant this week, and my dad had the genius idea to scoop out the grounds from the bottom of his cup with a fork. You should try it too. Ew. No. Fuck that. Thank you. Arendelle for 5 says, have you ever missed Europe? I found there's several really nice European-looking cities on the 30A and the Florida Panhandle. Rosemary Beach and Alice Beach. You should take the trip there. I've been to Rosemary Beach. Thank you. Samogan 2 for 5 says, here's the parts of the book written by Corey Anatoto of the Bluzzer blog he wrote in that high school that was released last year. I don't know what you're talking about. It's apparently a book by a guy that's obsessed with game shows. I don't know anything about him, though, bro. Sorry. Bingle Cat for 2 says, link to Anisa the Greasy, one of my favorite people. Let's see what she has to say. Let's get to the bottom of it. Anisa says, 15 hours ago. So this is actually a lie and illegal. My ex-partner was Acadian, and it was a very public relationship. He was 19 and I was 22. You can look this up. Look up his birthday and when we dated. I am beyond shocked and disgusted. This is apparently an H3 post or something. It says, oh yeah, it's H3 saying, they don't deny it. My interest is not about sex. It's about how pathetic you are. Speaking of Anisa's previous boyfriend, Ian was allegedly 17 when she was 22. Anyway, so that's talking about the Acadian, I guess. I don't know the details of this. She posts, well, that's his name. So not Sargon of Akkad, but rather Acadian. How old is Acadian? He's December 26, 1996, so he's 28 years old. And then they were together in 2016. And then she calculates out that she was 19 when he was 22. And then he says, proof for anyone who needs it, this is extremely horrendous to accuse me of, and it was very public and easily researched. And then she says, this is a Kiwi Farms rumor, apparently, with no evidence. So she provides evidence of everything else, and then she blames us for what H3 is saying, without any evidence. Okay. Great. Thank you, Anisa the Greasy. Weenie Smoothie for 5 says, you got me into smoked oysters, went to Wegmans and got their store-brand oysters and smoked Gouda. Pretty good, man. Anyways, you're fat and I would not have sex with you, but you're still cool. Thank you. Arendelle for 2 says, Shardy's interest in synthetic men is due to several Soyjack users invading the appreciation thread. Banned them for containment, yeah, because it was annoying. The users then shared it with the rest of the Shardy thread. Okay. Logistical Nightmare for 10 says, Josh, you know someone has to have a Sonshu tattoo. Not to the best of my knowledge. Not even Chris. He has like a blue heart or something, but that's it. The Ice Cream Man for 10 says, the origin of fraudulent conveyance, what Carl Jupes is doing, are from the 1500s in England, so there's literally been prohibitions attempting to hide assets from judgment for 500 years. Yeah, he's not clever. He thinks he's fucking smart, though. Thank you. Cena Stanley for 5 says, the hardships will continue until morale improves. That's right, every day. Harder and harder. Gay and Gunted Ralph for 10 says, put the Ricada body cam update in the bag, Florida boy. I'm working on it. I am working on it. I'm doing it. Thank you. Kiro 4 for 2 says, Josh, someone recommended you play Dominion 6 last week. Well, I'm here to warn you that the level of autism required to enjoy that series is high, even by normal Mac game. Well, I don't really have the time to get into a new game. The Ice Cream Man for $50 says, the Vegeta that Russell used reminds me of we need to make another PSA regarding how fat, brown, and stupid Snacky Singh is, and how horrifying her giant, awful hands are. Please educate your audience on this. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Her hands are always out of the picture. Maybe if I go to her keynote speaker address.
Her to be once for knowledge.
Wait, this is this is a picture of her in this video. If you open it, you can see she uses a title card of like, I think herself holding up like an ace, like a black ace. And you can see those hands are the same size as the card. So she's got enormous mitts, is what I say here. They're huge. And they're covered in poo and they stink like curry, chat. Thank you. Laserdisc Spinman for 3 says, pouring one out for Betty the hero. Pour one out for Betty. David Lammy for 1 says, come to England. No. Foxes for 5 says, daily reminder that you don't hate journals enough. You think you do. You might even get an iota close to hate, but you'll never be enough. It's true. You cannot hate them. Cream Meat for 2 says, open the encyclopedia to Spiteful Mutant. I think you'll find Russell Greer's picture, wretched little goblin, both inside and out. It's true. Ron Margaret for 2 says, Pizza Day Josh, what's your fucking appetite? My understanding, you need to speak to the owner of the pizza before zoning out a slice. No, Stalker Child, there is no appetite for this. Lawfully buying a pizza enables you to cut it any way you want, sir. Ace of Speds for 10 says, it's horrible that you spend all this time personally harassing someone when you could work on the farm. CW. Thank you. Cino for 2 says, I looked up the motel and I can see why the owner doesn't want to be dragged into this shit. It looks pretty nice and pet friendly. Okay. It does seem pretty nice. Those are nice flowers. You can see, chat, the flowers. There's pets. Very nice, chat. Very nice. CPEG for 10 says, Carl Jobs' damn 52 agent run was rejected on speedrun.com by a super moderator. Did Carl cheat or just an overzealous Janny? By Ricky's. He could have cheated. He could have cheated and he could have accidentally caused Apollo Legend to commit suicide, based off what I've heard. The unsubstantiated rumors I'm repeating to you today is that his terrible cheated speedrun resulted in Apollo Legend taking his own life tragically. Obviously, I can't back that up with any facts whatsoever. However, I heard that's the thing to say when you don't like somebody. Weenie Smoothie for 10 says, me when I hear Russell Greer talk. 30-second clip.
Dat ook niet wel.
Plus het feit, als je met seks omgaat, is het niet alleen het fysieke dat telt, maar ook soms de lieve woordjes.
This is a really annoying Mexican guy that makes that ahi ahi fucking laugh. Honestly, I've never been a fan of the fucking ahi ahi laugh. It's just really annoying. Thank you. DJ Udi for 2 says, not too long ago, I watched PPP's first interaction with Nick fighting Dex when Nick was still rolling in the dough. Very interesting to see one's chocolate star rise and the other falls. Yeah, you mean this one? Hold up.
You faggot motherfucker, how are you doing? The conspiracy is true. Your gun shielding is disgusting. This is punishment from God. This is righteous. It looks like the winning is...
There's a part where he starts yelling. This part. This is where it breaks down. Where is it? Where's the good part? Oh, there it is. This is up. This was PPP got into an argument with Dick over New Project 2, and the highlight of it was Dick spazzed out so hard at him. He was screaming, red in the face into the mic, who's this cleft cock dick sucking motherfucker or something. And then he angrily rebutted that he was the prom king and he lives in a Barbie dream doll mansion. And it was after that it was all a fucking joke. Don't take my kidneys for two says, I love how he's focusing on random words he hears. You aren't significant in bish. Pimmel Fetcher for one says, how many white children do you have between 0 and 100? Coley Dante for $20 says, it's fascinating to watch Ralph employ his rhetorical technique of screaming incoherently until the other person starts talking against an answering machine. It's true, it doesn't work out, and he loses somehow against an answering machine as well. Thank you. Awaken for one says, after Ralph arguing with Sherman, can we listen to his interview with Andrew Tate for those who haven't seen it? No. Barello Furman for one says, Bossman Jack going back to jail. Oh no, not Mayoshi. That's true. Mayoshi. Bunker Housing for 5 says, would have donated more chats, but I'm trying to get to fucking fag level 100. That means. Roll Executioner for 5 says, holy shit, first time catching you live, it was from 34,000 feet. Wi-Fi sucks, but it worked decent enough. Happy to join you in the aeroplane. Thank you. Sergeant Flowers for 5 says, please watch the first 3 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I know. I figured it out. It's a how-to guide for the AeroPress. Yeah, I figured out you can unscrew the bottom. You don't have to like push it in. Nito for one says, the VTuber thread says your coffee review with the gloves on reminds other Oshi's hand cam streams. Well, happy to help. Make sure to donate like you did here, Oshi. Pimmel Fester for one says, secret berry segment donation. Thank you. Awaken for one says, remember when you used to say over is over? Yes. Tetravax for 20 says, I love the locals content where you dress like your house is a CIA black site, because it is. Thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe to Locals, by the way. ManAtTheInternet.locals.com. Everyone helps. Every little bit helps. Neek QR for 2 says, look at the fucking face of this cat. Nice cat. Here's the cat. Nice cat. Vordier for 10 says, I know you don't care, but I found the perfect anime for you. It's called Akagi. It's about gambling, and there can be no underage panty shots because there are no women at all. Happy pizza days. Thank you. Appreciate it. Snito for one says, Troons were mad you were in the technicals video. Lamau. Base. Fuck him. Docs Found for 10 says, please watch this video. Bossman Jack attempting to figure out tic-tac-toe. It started at 6:21, bro. It's a KF link. I can't even fucking watch it, bro. The videos haven't worked the entire fucking stream. Yeah, it's not going to load, bro. I'm sorry. Dizzy Until Death for 5 says, money, spend it all in one place. I will, thank you. Monkey Rousing for 5 says, worker man delivering refrigerator asked for a glass of water. I gave him a can of Pepsi Max. He was happy. It felt good to be nice. Everyone won. Should give him water, bro. How you stay hydrated. Haramburger for 2 says, it seems to me Hassan Piker straddles the gamer role better than you have straddled it, Mr. Moon. You better question his gamer street cred. There's months of straddling between your streams. Fake gamer man. I will do no such thing. Bentard for 2 says, Russia is banning anime figurines, cope and see anime fags. They can't even afford them. Russia's median income is like $2 a day. And those figurines are like $1,000. Russia moves to ban anime figurines, calling them harmful to kids, equating them with porn. Get wrecked. And then look at the anime's coping. Arm Zelensky with everything he needs. Maybe we should give Ukraine that nuclear weapons. Yeah, that's all it takes. Animes are very easily manipulated. Taking aside. All right, I'm exhausted. I have to go. Thank you very much for watching. I have a very, very special outro song picked. It's actually a new track by a famous artist you may have heard of called Kanye West, now going by Ye. And the song is called Cousins. Take it easy, chat. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Niggas probably thinking that I'm gay.
Sneeder! Sneeder!